a Monday night edition of the Fantasy Addicts podcast. I am your host, Mike, the Fantasy Addict, with co-host Nikki B.
That is me.
All right, we are streaming live on Twitch.
We'll do it live.
All night.
And we are already getting into the Bears versus the Rams.
Our Bears.
Let's go Bears.
The
Let's go Bears. So far, 0-0. Bears had one offensive possession so far that I was able to watch and didn't do much with it.
Not so good.
So far, we got some buddies that are betting the under, so they're rooting for a defensive battle.
Yeah, we got a. I'm in on that wager as well.
Are you in on that one?
We got the Bears heavy and a lot of the unders.
So Nick, finally betting the Bears, finally got the confidence, finally starting to believe.
Finally going to lose.
And
I shouldn't say finally.
Nothing could be worse for the Bears.
I'm going to continue to lose.
The Bears are who we thought they were.
Well, Nick thought they were good this week, so let's hope that they're good.
Yeah. Again, I hate betting against them and not winning money, and you don't feel the full enjoyment of the win.
Yep. So we're going to be splitting our attention between watching the game as fans, but also bringing you the fantasy rundown for this week's action. This weekend we had a lot of fantasy football implications. Talk about the implications.
Yeah, like the implications of Tyler Lockett going for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns.
I have Tyler on a team. I started Tyler.
How'd that go for you?
It went well. So the player I was playing was our league troll, and he was projected to win by quite a bit going into this. I had no good running backs who didn't really show up anyway, but I did start A.J. Brown and Tyler Lockett, and
both those paid off all right.
It feels good. Let's see.
Does it feel good to be a champion? Yeah.
The 1 week champion. It feels good.
Hey, it's just one win on my way to becoming the ultimate champion.
Great success.
And if I have to remind you, I actually am the reigning champion in that league.
You know what it's called? It's called winning. It's called being a champion.
I don't think we need any reminders.
I am the champion until further notice.
Alrighty. Speaking of Tyler Lockett, he had a great week, and not far behind him was who else?
Let's see. A.J. Brown, I know, had a big week, but I believe they were both behind Devontae Adams, who just crushed it.
Yeah.
Just under 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, correct?
So here's the thing. Between Tyler Lockett and Devontae Adams, they had a combined 36 targets.
It's a lot of targets.
Oh, my goodness.
And they caught a lot of them, and some
Tyler
of them were
Lockett had
touchdowns.
20 targets.
Oh, I like that. And I'd still probably trade him away for a middle-of-the-line running back in that league.
Yeah. Spartan, what's going on, guys?
Hey,
how are you?
Welcome in. Happy to have you.
Hello.
Hambo.
Welcome in tonight.
Hambo Rambo.
Devontae Adams, big week. I want to see the screenshots of the Devontae Adams versus Tyler Lockett weeks. Like, that would be
just a side-by-side play, highlights.
The Devontae owner being like, "Oh, I'm going to wreck you this week," and then then Lockett going later on, be like,
"Well, that's the thing. There are probably leagues in which that matchup happened, and one person had to lose with their wide receiver putting up
40 or 50.
We were
points,
talking about
likely.
If you put up 60, that's a great game for 2 fantasy
players.
Oh,
absolutely.
Like if you get a wide receiver that gets you 30 points, you're pretty
psyched. In our league format that has bonuses for 200 and whatever yards.
We got a trade in the chat.
Points.
We got to hear about. We'll give you a rating. All right, 1 to 1 billion.
1 to 1 billion?
I don't know. I don't know.
That seems complicated.
9 million.
All right. Bring them out. We need. How many teams are in the league? If you're a contender and the players.
Oh, we got one who bench Lockett but doesn't have the shame of the loss because he pulled out the win.
Everything's okay, Bambo.
Team must be stacked.
Everything will be okay. Speaking of good days, Tom Brady had a good one as well. 369 passing, 4 touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown. Imagine that one guy with Devontae and Lockett, though. Yeah, it's out there. It is out there.
And maybe he had A.J. Brown.
That is also true.
For him while he was injured.
The 3 stack.
Ooh, you don't need any running backs.
Brady, Herbert, Burrow, Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson, Baker Mayfield, Aaron Rodgers, Carson Wentz, Deshaun Watson, all got it done from the QB position. Even old man Breeze, 287 and 2. So
I actually fell victim to the Carson Wentz blow-up game. So in Dynasty, he had in our league rough around 35-ish points, and I had my stud quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, putting up under 20. So although I believe the guy I was playing against was trying to tank.
Are you super panicked about
Of Mahomes,
Mahomes,
no,
yeah,
that
no.
was a goofy game. Their defense scored, their special teams scored, so they just didn't need to use their high-powered offense.
Yeah.
But no, I'm still happy with Mahomes. I'm still Kelsey's good. Again, the reason that they underperformed was because of the other touchdowns that their team was able to score.
Banjo says, one of my Lockett teams lost. What? But the rest of my teams all won by 50 plus.
Well, there you
I
go.
like that.
Can't win them all.
Bambo,
right?
I need RBs badly, so I'm starting Mixon, but I'm struggling with choosing between Boston, Jamal, or Lindsey.
I think if Miles Sanders is out, Boston's probably the way you go. You kind of chase the points. But Jamal, the reason let's see. Jamal, I think Aaron Jones is going to be back next week.
Yeah.
That's what all the things that I've seen. It sounded like he tried to go this week and just barely kind of couldn't go. So I would expect him back.
If you need somebody like for the near future right now.
And Lindsey, with Melvin Gordon back,
yeah.
Lindsey didn't have a good week. I think he might have gotten shaken up too. You could have to, go back and check on that.
Yeah, Lindsey
but,
also went out for a little while with an injury too.
So Lindsey of the three would be my least favorite. Jamal looks good. Jamal's probably the most talented of all those three.
I'd go Boston, Lindsey, Jamal.
If Aaron Jones is out, maybe I go Jamal. But if Aaron Jones is back, I go Boston, Jamal.
I agree with
Lindsey.
that, but like you said, I think Aaron Jones is going to play.
So I got to hear about this trade. Let's see if we saw it.
Not yet. Actually, no. Here we go. Spartans. I'll start with a big one. Zeke, Tyreek Hill, and Jonathan Taylor for Cook DK. Go ahead. Is Uzi Vert? Welcome to the Fantasy Football Ads. Is it really
Uzi
Vert?
It is, and we're happy to have you.
Yo, what's going on, man?
Man, I rather have. So here's the thing: there are a couple shows I was listening to. Some of the experts concerned about Zeke with the Cowboys being on their third string quarterback, that offense not moving, then not putting up points,
And the offensive line being all hurt.
Yeah, their defense being terrible, so they've got to throw if they can figure out how to throw. Zeke, although he's very good, he's very talented. I have some concerns myself about Zeke. Tyreek Hill has been good. I think he's going to have some boom bust games, but he's a talented wide receiver on a high powered offense.
The problem is, I think Jerry Jones notices, and the coaching staff notices that they're not going to do anything with Dak this year, with Dak gone, obviously.
They still got to play football.
I know they're going to play football, but I think they're going to mix in Pollard more, and I just don't think they're going to push their luck with Zeke. Have him play,
not.
but
They got him on a long-term contract, so
fresh.
you want to keep him fresh, not put up too many miles if it's for nothing. But
so the full trade was Zeke, Hill, Jonathan Taylor.
So Jonathan Taylor, I like in that one. I think Jonathan Taylor, his schedule's softening up. He hasn't been amazing yet, but he's been usable, and I think there are brighter days ahead for him.
I think
So for Cook and DK.
Yeah, I think Cook and DK will be more consistent.
So read off DK's line.
Okay, it's an 8-man league though.
8-man's interesting.
I like the trade for you in 8-man. Yeah, no, it's fine.
You'd rather have Cook and DK?
I think so. With only you're probably not starting. You might not be even starting Tyreek or JT in some certain bad matchups in
I
8
think
team.
you're starting
You
them.
probably are. But again, if they're not performing, you have other good players to swap them out with. So you're playing more matchups. I think it's actually probably harder. So I'm okay with the trade. Should I be panicked about Rojo? He's my flex right now, and I have Eckler on the IR.
No, he came out. He still put up a decent game. He got a touchdown at the end. But Leonard Fournette did have a good amount of volume.
Yeah.
I think that as far as the running backs right now, I still like to have Rojo as a guy who could probably put up between 10 and 20 points consistently. He's getting in there. He's getting plays. He's looked good. He's talented. Doesn't catch the ball as much as you'd like to see, but they still do throw it to him once in a while. So I'm not full panic on Rojo. If you could get a real good wide receiver for somebody who's just starving for wide receivers, maybe you make that. But I think I want Rojo over a lot of running
football 1012.
Oh, another expert. You too are addicted to fantasy football, I see.
And we like
welcome.
that.
You came to the right place.
Yeah, you did. Welcome to the Fantasy Football Addicts.
Yep.
Got any questions? Or if you just want
went
to hang
on
out
to
with
Twitch,
us,
you Google
do whatever you
football.
need.
They'll give you a lot of European football, the soccer as we like to call it. You find some Madden, but no, fantasy football. Here it
Fantasy
is.
Football. This is what you want.
Yeah.
I'm in agreement. I'm not a big Rojo fan in general, but I think nobody likes Fournette, and I think Rojo is a fine flex play, but I'm not comfortable with him in
Leonard
my
had a lot of touches
one or
in
two
that
spot.
game, more than you'd like to see with Rojo looking so good while he was out. But, that team, they're not concerned about fantasy, as you can tell by the
This
signing.
Uzi Vert with a 30-bit cheer. I think that's our first cheer in the channel. So thank you very much for that.
Very impressed.
I hope you get like a little notification symbol or something
with
to
a
go
Go
along with that.
Texans comment, huh?
And
Sorry about the Texans, man. This might not be the year.
No. Izzy Vert is so happy about the Texans, despite the sad face.
Interesting. There's a lot to unpack in this one line of text.
Bill O'Brien is gone. So as long as Bill O'Brien is gone, there's light at the end of the tunnel. At the end of the tunnel before was just Bill O'Brien, which is not. That's the worst tunnel to be going down.
Yeah.
Okay.
They went and they told him,
Job's done.
All right,
thank you.
We got the comments coming in quickly. Bambo, okay, snag Tyreek for Mike Evans and Kareem, and I already have DK and Devontae, but I need a running back. Who should I try and go for and offer DK? Honestly, I'm offering
Jonathan Taylor. I don't know, man. It could pan out. You could look back at that.
I'm offering. Let's see. You
could try to get a banged up Miles Sanders.
Mike Evans. DK can still get you a.
DK's a stud.
Yeah, any running back in the 6
What was
to
DK's
10
line,
range.
though? DK didn't have a great game.
He was like
this
1
game
for 7
because Tyler Lockett had his
It
big
was
game.
1 for 7.
They also had a touchdown that for DK at the end that they called back, so that's worth noting too. Is that he was a hold away from having that big touchdown that would have changed your perception of his week.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, I wouldn't trade DK for anything less than
Bambo with the
Jonathan Taylor.
The elephant memory. It says that's the person who said the Texans would win.
with the elephant memory.
Yeah, elephant never forgets.
Interesting. Do you ever forget?
I forget all the time.
People don't though.
People
Spartans.
don't forget.
Second one is I have Terry McLaurin and Gaskin for Jacobs and Claypool. Did you make that, or that's the one you have offered or offering? Terry McLaurin and Gaskin for Jacobs and Claypool.
Jacobs also had a down game. I think there's going to be better days for Jacobs. Jacobs is a talented running back. He's the best guy on that team. They had kind of a goofy little game script as well on that one that just didn't allow for him to get going. But I like Josh Jacobs. If I could get Josh Jacobs, that's a guy you might be able after a bad week to try and trade DK for. If I was looking for a running back, I think that's a good target this week.
Spartans, if this is just regular redraft, I'd still rather have the McLaurin Gaskin side, I think, wouldn't you?
Gaskin has been pretty usable as a running back, where if you can get a big game out of McLaurin, he's far and away the best wide receiver on that team.
Yeah, but who'd you rather have? McLaurin?
Kyle Allen actually came out, had a decent fantasy day, had a decent football day.
And he's going to do that more often than not.
And he was able to support DJ Moore as a top-end wide receiver last year, so that's worth noting is that he should be able to support a guy. He's actually in a very similar position, Kyle Allen, the quarterback for the Washington football team, that he was last year on the Panthers.
Oh, no flag. No flag.
And he actually has the same coach, right? Ron Rivera over there.
He does indeed. Okay, but you'd rather have Jacobs over McLaurin, but not by a lot. And I'd rather have Gaskin over Claypool at the moment.
Yeah, Claypool, you're definitely you rode the lightning for a little bit,
Panther
and then he let
sweat.
you down this week.
Big Bad Brad. Thank you for
right.
that subscription.
Big Bad Brad. I wonder if that is my buddy Brad I'm in the league with.
No, it's my buddy Brad.
It's your buddy Brad. We all got a buddy Brad.
The name on here is Panther
If you don't
Sweat.
have a buddy Brad, you go out there, you get yourself a buddy Brad.
Thanks for the emote, too. I'll be glad to use it. There we go. Send things.
Yep. So, all of you, go out, get a buddy Brad.
Yeah, I'm gonna get one for show. For show.
But anyway,
I'm getting that for show.
Spartans, I think that's a lateral move at best, and if it's redraft, I would hold. Let's see. Is Jacobs and Hill for Derrick Henry and Allen Robinson a good trade?
It's a little bit lateral, but yeah, I think that
I'd rather have the Henry Robinson side by a slim margin.
Too.
By
Yeah,
a slim
I think
margin.
Derrick Henry with that gigantic game has proven that he could be the difference between
And
victory and defeat in the playoffs.
I think that's what it is. He's the difference maker. Jacobs is solid, and he's got a really high floor, but Derrick Henry can win you weeks.
Yeah, and
Handle it.
every week that you're in the regular season, you need to be getting those wins so you can make the playoffs. But then once you know that you're probably going to be a lock for the playoffs, you need to build that team with that high upside that can take out some of those higher scoring teams that are
Right.
You got to be looking at those teams that are above you in the rankings and seeing, hey, what's it going to take to knock these guys off? And it might be a big game from Derrick Henry in the right situation.
Yeah, no, I'm in agreement. All right. Number 207-379-0156. I think he's a hacker. I'm having trouble starting my wide receivers. Travis Fulgham versus Dallas, Tyler Boyd versus the Titans, A-Rob versus the Saints, Thielen versus the Packers, or Cooper Kupp versus the Dolphins in week 8. How many do you have to start? How many of
That's a good
those?
question.
options.
I would
You have
say
some good options.
You get some data tonight. You see what Cooper Kupp does. He's actually a player I'm going against. I need him to have less than 12, like 0.8 points. So hopefully we can hold him down.
Yeah, let us know how many players of those you need to start. If it's just one, we have some tough
any wide
decisions.
receiver against Dallas right now is good. Fulgham has had good volume. He had a decent game this past week, but I like him a lot, and I'm not a big Flugelhorn guy, but Foghorn Leghorn should show up. Tyler Boyd, I like Tyler Boyd, but versus the Titans, probably not the one I'm going with. Allen Robinson versus the Saints. The Saints have actually given up more points to the wide receiver than you would realize. I like Thielen a lot. He's been the number 2 wide receiver as far as fantasy points going into this week. I just traded for him in Dynasty. I think Thielen is a good, reliable one. Sometimes
I'm going Thielen Boyd.
I think I'm going Thielen Flugelhorn.
That's my second option, so I'm okay with either of those. What's your team? Are you an Eagles fan by chance?
It's a good set of wide receivers, though. It's a good wide receiver.
If you're an Eagles fan, I'd go with that. Again, people may think you're crazy starting Foghorn Leghorn over Cooper Kupp.
No, the volume has been there.
Jalen Reagor is.
It's worth noting that is a great point that I was just about to make myself, but my esteemed colleague Nikki B beats me to it. So those of you that are unfamiliar with Jalen Reagor was a second round wide receiver draft pick
second round
for the Eagles in this past NFL draft. He had some hype going into the season, the scouting report on him.
Barrett was confirmed, by the way, if we want some real life news and not just fantasy news.
Tell the world.
Amy Coney Barrett is now a Supreme Court Justice.
So, again, we try to keep it football here.
Yeah,
so
we'll go back to
football. If you like that, great. If you don't, sorry, we're watching the Bears. We need more football.
Back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Yeah. But sometimes anytime an alert comes up and it's not fantasy football related, I'm like, skip next.
Not as interesting.
Yeah, tell me about Joe Mixon.
Who died from their
ankle.
injury.
Yeah.
No, I'm a Seahawks fan. Pretty pissed that we lost to the Cards.
That was a devastating loss.
I had you guys plus 7 points after the first minute in the game, and that didn't go well for me.
If you feel bad, just go ahead and watch the Falcons games this year because Todd Gurley trying to fall down, accidentally scoring a touchdown. Good for our fantasy team. Bad for the Falcons.
Yeah.
You blew
Josh Reynolds with a 4-yard touchdown reception. So the Rams are going to go up on our Bears. Not so good.
Josh Reynolds is a guy I've been holding on to in Dynasty. If you're one of our Dynasty followers.
For too long.
You know what? I think that if he breaks away from the team, he's a guy that could end up being, a solid wide receiver.
The problem with fantasy football is
the Eagles would kill for him right now, right?
No. You could put DeAndre Hopkins on the Eagles, and he would be a wide receiver 3.
Would he be as good as Flugelhorn?
No. All right, so let's move on in the
Ridiculous.
chat. We're behind. Bambo. See, I trust Tyreek and Devontae mainly because they're both 1 receivers, but DK and Tyler Lockett are neck and neck for the number 1. So here's the thing.
They do hurt each other a little bit.
Don't let Lockett's game last night distract you from how good DK is. In fact, DK had the play of the game besides, even though Tyler Lockett had 200 yards.
The tackle on my DB, Buda Baker.
Oh, That didn't help you at all then at all.
So I won that one. I won that
because of Lockett?
That matchup handily because of Lockett. And also I had Keanu Neal on the bench who scored 20-plus points.
Yeah,
so my defense starting to show up a little bit.
Yeah, no, I don't shortchange DK. DK is super valuable, and honestly, there's other people in your league that think DK is probably a top 4 or 5 wide receiver like I do.
I didn't see it live, and he looked like a monster chasing down Buda. Buda was terrified.
Yeah. No, if you're going to trade DK, don't trade him for anything less than
a high-end running back.
Yeah, JT kind of caliber player.
Yeah, but there's only a handful of wide receivers I'd rather have.
CEH or DK?
Man, I would love to see one more game with Lev Bell before I pull the trigger on that one. But again, I think if you have other good wide receivers, it's easier to find wide receivers this year than running backs.
100%.
I could see making that move. CEH, there's going to be games where he has more touchdowns. He finally got his first one this week that didn't get called back by the refs. So
DK straight up for Jacobs. If I did want to pull the trigger,
yeah, I would do that.
I would.
If you needed a running back, if you have
to have a running back, then yes. Yeah. What were your running back options again? They were pretty not.
But if your next best guy is like Swift, even or Moss or Akers or some of those guys, some of those rookies you're holding on to.
206. I don't want to forget about you. Did we decide? Yeah, we decided on that one. So you were going Foghorn Leghorn and Thielen. And I'm going Thielen and Boyd.
All right, so Thielen.
He has to pick 2, though. So Thielen and somebody else.
Allen, Lockett, Woods, or Deontay Johnson. Deontay Johnson got banged up, so keep an eye on him if he's going to play for sure this week. But still, the Steelers, Juju did bounce back. He was some of the analysts, if you're watching, there's a lady on Yahoo that if you hit the little videos, it'll show you. She is the most inaccurate of all the people on there. And she was just like, oh, Juju's done. He's going to have 4 points. He ended up getting like 17 points. So Juju's all right. But there are going to be weeks when those other guys get the ball. There's a lot of options on the Steelers. So I'm a little bit weary to start any of them. I think you can start any of them, but there's going to be weeks that it's the other guy.
Yeah, Izuzi Bird, volume will stay there for Zeke, you think? Really don't want to trade him. Don't trade Zeke right now. This is the least you'll get for him, and I definitely don't sell him now. Better days are ahead for sure. And again, I think you're still going to have a pretty close to 10-point floor even in bad weeks. Obviously, it didn't work out that way, so maybe not technically the floor.
Well, if their quarterback can't run, maybe they get the run game going. Their line's been banged up. Everything's going bad for the Cowboys right now.
Here's the thing. Send out, if somebody wants to make an offer for him that is willing to
So if you can make more of a lateral move, you got to take Cook for Zeke right now, easy.
I would, yes.
Would you take Jonathan Taylor for Zeke?
I'd rather have Zeke.
That's interesting. Jonathan Taylor, again, if you look at his schedule, it softens up. I think that they're going to be running the ball. He's got a good line. The line's pretty well intact. Their defense is a little banged up.
Right.
They've been elite so far, but they've got tougher matchups coming up as well. That's worth noting. So the Colts, some of you had to drop the Colts defense, maybe drop Blankenship, the kicker. They have a tougher, set of games coming up, even though the defense and the kicker have been very good so far. So if you make a pivot and you don't get those back, don't feel too bad.
Alrighty. So who would you start in this situation? Allen, Lockett, Woods, or Deontay in PPR? I'd probably still go Allen in this situation. Ooh, what a snag by Komet. Wow.
All right, good. Komet. I need Jimmy Graham to have no points. Let's let this be the Komet game. I need Jimmy Graham and Darnell Mooney to have no points while the Bears win. That's what I want.
Okay. So Bears didn't look good on that drive. Bear fan Paul, they didn't look so good.
No, they gotta get rolling. You gotta get Foles.
Did you see the Foles look at the defender like, get off me?
Yeah, get off my leg. Please don't hurt my leg.
Get off me.
He's twisting the leg. Little dirty.
Okay, so I'm still going with Allen there. Any expectations for Bell versus Jets?
Lockett was an option. I'm going with Lockett. If you can play Lockett, you play Tyler Lockett.
You're taking Lockett over?
Oh, for sure.
Okay, I still wouldn't.
After that giant game, he's had another giant game earlier. I like Lockett.
If somebody's going to pay you...
Russ is cooking. That offense is good. Their defense isn't great.
If you can trade Lockett for, wide receiver 1 value, then I would in a heartbeat.
I'd rather have Lockett than another good chunk of guys. Would you rather have DK straight up over Lockett? I think you would say yes. I'm on the fence.
I like DK double what I like Lockett.
That's interesting. I think that there are going to be some days it's one guy's game and some days it's another. And I think you could probably get Lockett
Here's
less.
An interesting question to wrap it up.
Right,
would you trade DK for Zeke and vice versa?
I would not. No, I would not do that unless
you'd rather have who?
No, I'm worried. I'd rather trade DK for like a Josh Jacobs, maybe even a Miles Sanders. Probably not Miles.
So you're
Sanders.
saying
the Eagles have been bad.
You wouldn't take Zeke for DK?
Okay. In certain leagues, in certain situations, I would if I had a little bit more depth at wide receiver, which you probably do. So I probably do, but I don't feel great about it. I worry about Zeke right now.
Yeah, if you like Zeke, I think you could trade DK for him right now.
I don't know if Zeke's going to have that league-winning potential to put up points.
Would you do Lockett for Zeke?
Yeah.
Yeah, you would.
Now that you say it, I'd probably do that.
Yeah. Banjo, any expectations for Bell versus Jets in a revenge game? His usage this week was kind of meh. So the thing is, he looked pretty good. I think they just wanted to reassure CH, you're our starter. Don't panic. You're not getting. But I think they really
was
want
out
to play
there. He
Bell
got some
more.
volume. He was averaging 4 or 5 more yards than he averaged the whole time he was with the Jets in that one game.
Yeah, in one game he had more yards than
defense.
any time with the Jets.
I am hard rooting for Lev to go back and end Gase's career, just murder them. 3 touchdowns. I have him on my one team, so it'd be great for me. That's a large reason why I'm rooting for it. But just the narrative, even if I didn't have him on any teams, wouldn't you just love to see Lev go in there and just murder?
Lev's been one of my favorite
I don't like
players
Lev
to
Bell.
watch.
I don't like him as a guy. I don't like him as a player.
See, I'm a Lev Bell guy.
He lost me when he held out on the Steelers. It just felt like he was a me guy, not a team guy. So I don't even like him as a guy. Yeah. But the Jets, what a woeful, horrible team that just someone needs to just stamp them into such misery that they have to blow it up.
Yeah. Did you see the bets, the spread?
Is it 1,000 to
20.5?
Okay.
For an NFL game, I haven't seen anything. I think I saw one that was 22.5 a couple years ago, but and that was versus the Browns.
Get obliterated.
Yeah, it was Patriots versus Browns, and they were favored by 23 points.
It's going to be just just so hard to watch in so many different.
Here's the thing:
kinds of
I don't think Bell actually has a super easy path to fantasy
big
relevancy.
points.
I don't think he's going to end the season anything higher than running back 3.
The path is the goal line carries.
Yeah.
The path is the touchdown.
Yeah, and I think he's more real life football helpful than fantasy helpful. If anything, he's just going to take the top extra few touches that CH was going to get, and he just takes those
So
away.
again, he was a guy that never seemed motivated on the Jets. Just didn't want to be there. Again, had that
It's hard when you're-
weird situation
when
where
you're going to lose.
missed the game with the flu, and they found him at a bowling alley at like 3 a.m. So that's another reason I don't like Lev
The
Bell
old
as a
Tiger
guy.
Woods.
But man,
All right, we got to get through this chat a little
psyched to
bit
see the
faster.
Jets get obliterated.
206. I had DK on my squad in week 1, and he didn't score many points, so I dropped him.
Oh, no.
Why would you drop DK? You
You
gotta
are so dumb. You are really dumb.
you gotta hang out with us more. You see, we would advise you against that.
Oh,
Bambo. So if I
that's
did
tough,
pull the
though.
trigger, I would have Mixon and Jacobs, and I would just have to figure out a decent flex because I'm player 10. I'm in the 10 seed this week.
Yeah, I think if you're in the 10 seed,
Bambo.
I think you make the move.
I'm scared about Mixon. If I can package Mixon and somebody else for another wide receiver, kind of in that same category, I would.
So you feel the injury is more serious than what I have read and what I have felt like it is.
I am more worried about
But
it.
before the
than
injury,
before.
you did like him. You like the volume. You like that their offense
If
is
Mixon
kinda
is healthy
trying-
and playing the game, then
You like him?
Start him. It's always these situations where like,
the
yeah,
10
he's
seed,
hurt,
man.
but we're not sure what's wrong, or they're not really vocal with
You
it's a
gotta
high
do
ankle sprain,
something.
or it's this is a, I don't know. All right, let's see here. I
I
declined.
think Mixon's going to come back and be pretty usable.
I declined a trade of Drake, Fuller, DJ Moore for Zeke, as well as JT Gronk for Zeke trade.
Well, also with that being so many players, you're going to have to drop 2 players that are on your team already that you might like. If you
what would you rather have, Zeke or JT and Gronk?
So Drake just got hurt is worth noting also. So I imagine that you got that offer before Drake went down with the injury, but I don't want any part of Kenyon Drake, especially after that injury.
Nope.
I think that Chase Edmonds, his backup, came in, looked real good in service of him when he went down. It wouldn't shock me if he gets going and he looks better and Drake never gets that job back.
Yeah, it's not a good situation.
Fuller's
out there,
been
the
good.
running
The
back.
Texans, their offense is figuring some things out, but their team is still, it's a concern. The Texans have a lot of issues. Their line isn't good. It's hard for them to give Deshaun the time to actually air it out. And DJ Moore had a good game. He had 2 touchdowns, but Robbie Anderson's still hurting him a little bit. I think for Zeke, I'm trying to get 1 great piece instead of 3 okay pieces.
What's your tight end situation? I think the JT and Gronk for Zeke offer is close, especially if you have garbage.
Yeah,
tight
you're
end.
still a Gronk believer. He's been showing out these last 2 weeks. They just signed Antonio Brown, and
Well,
you never know who's going to get the touchdowns. I think.
Here's the thing. To your point.
Oh, the
206
numbers.
with the follow.
Read them all out. If you follow, you get all the numbers. 2063790156. Give the man a call.
He just clacked on the keyboard and said, "I'm going with it." I'm pretty sure.
You know what happened? He got sick of them saying that username is already taken. That username is already taken. Like,
I
like,
don't know if anybody watches Ragtag on YouTube. But
I do not.
That's how he did it. Because he was tired of people taking all of his. Bears, we already said that one.
That's pretty neat.
But yeah, so the reason I think Gronk is still going to be valuable is because he's still the red zone target for Brady. That's where he feels comfortable. Godwin may get yardage. Miller may get yardage. Evans may get yardage. But I think Gronk is going to have twice the opportunity of catching a touchdown than anybody else.
I don't know if I'd give him twice the opportunity. I still think you're overcrediting.
Well, if
Gronk,
everybody's
but
got a 7% chance, I think he has a 15%.
I don't love Gronk, but I like Jonathan Taylor a lot. I think the Jonathan Taylor for Zeke trade straight up is one that you could look back and be like, "Wow, I made a great call."
I agree.
And it's close enough now that if you're going to do it, you probably got to do it now because Jonathan Taylor hasn't fully broken out. But he is the lead running back on a team with a very good offensive line who's having trouble really moving the ball through the air. So I
think
like
JT will become more valuable as the season goes on.
Yeah.
For sure. Let's see. JT, first round pick next year, yes or no?
Let's see how the year plays out. But as of right now, it would not shock me at all. I'll say yes.
Okay. NIU, who wants to be on the Jets? Nobody wants to be in the Jets. Wish I was in a 206's league. I don't know what that is. Do you know what a 206's league is?
I do know. We'll have to look it
I don't
up. Let's see.
Okay, here's a question. I like I'm prepared for the question
right.
chat. And
Thank you
and
for the setup. You set it
yeah,
up.
I needed it. I'm
we'll
playing
knock it
the
down.
10 seed, says Bambo.
I got you.
Gotcha.
Pardon my misread. I can barely even read. I'm so excited about football.
again, I'm still worried about Mixon. Is Mixon for sure good to go this week? Have they said?
I do not believe we've got an official word that he's in. So again, Josh Reynolds, my guy.
He's
scoring the
considered day to
touchdown.
day, is what they said 4 hours ago.
I believe Josh Reynolds. That might be his second touchdown.
If
on
you
the
go,
year.
if Mixon is fine and Josh Jacobs, you're really happy with your running back situation. You're going to be better off than 75% of other teams.
Yeah,
or more.
yeah. Again, I think Josh Jacobs, bad game, but he's the guy. He's a good running back. He's been healthy.
Okay,
so.
Vert says, am I crazy for starting Tua his first start? I have Watson on bye.
Tell me the matchup.
Or I
again.
can scoop up someone
Let's
safer. And yeah, I'm hoping I can snag Edmonds. I would start him in flex probably. I've got Hunter Henry right now at tight end. Would you rather have Hunter Henry or Gronk rest of the season?
I think I'd go Hunter Henry.
Yeah, no, I'm in agreement. But the thing is, you can still flip. Gotcha. NIU. That makes sense.
Tua's first game is going to be against the Rams. So again, watch the rest of this game, see how they do against the Bears. But man, that's a tough matchup for your first
It'll be
game.
a low-scoring game. I don't.
I don't think I'm starting him.
Yeah, I'm not either.
There are a lot of options I'd like better.
And there's always a chance that he throws like 2 picks in the first quarter, and they put Fitzpatrick back, and they're like, "We'll try again next week."
I would be very surprised. I think
give
they
a
let
pretty
him
long
have the
leash.
whole game. But if he's just getting murdered, I don't know. He could get the hook.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Edmonds on the waivers would be solid. I wouldn't start Tua.
I have the number
you have
one
some other
waiver.
Options.
I have the number one waiver priority in the league, and I am going to pick up Chase Edmonds.
206 says, am I crazy for wanting Justin Herbert and dropping Ertz and playing him over Rodgers? Honestly, I think Justin Herbert is a top 8 quarterback going forward.
I think he's matchup dependent, but he has looked very good. Again, his arm talent is top level. He looks, again, he makes it look easy when he throws these 60-yard passes.
Justin Herbert's yardages since he started, 311, 330, 290, 264, 347, and touchdowns, 11343. And our points in our league, 30, 27, 35, 40, 52.
That's pretty good. I think you can make that move. And again,
and here's his end of season schedule starting in week.
Yeah, he has some soft schedule.
Let's start with
up.
week 11. New Jersey, Buffalo, Patriots, Atlanta, Raiders, Broncos, Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm gonna get one for show. A show.
Yeah, if Herbert's
I'm
out
getting
there,
that
I think
for
you just
show.
convinced me.
You could even get Herbert and shop Rodgers. But it's Tua time. I don't know. I'm not on the Tua bandwagon yet. However,
If
Herbert
he comes
looks
out
legit.
and looks good, yeah.
Herbert looks legit, and Burrow both look legit.
You're
so
the rookie QB.
maybe we can go for the 3 for
the 3.
But no, you're not crazy. Let's see. All right, we caught up.
All right, here we are.
Bears got a field goal, 3 points to 7 points now.
Yep, 13 minutes, 21
Oh, boy.
seconds, 20 seconds, 19 seconds left in the second quarter.
Okay, I actually have I need the chat's help with this
All
one.
right.
I have to make a wager.
We're here for you.
During the halftime of this Bears game.
Hi,
right?
Nick.
I have to make a $50 free bet wager on any bet for the second half. Free.
Oh, can't beat free.
Any bet for the second half. What do you like?
Oh man, I wonder if you could find one for Josh Reynolds having another touchdown.
I don't think
a
I
2 touchdown
don't
game.
I don't think I can do players. I think it has to be based off games, touchdowns, and some scoring. Let's see. Maybe you're right. I can snag Tannehill or Stafford. I'd probably pivot to one of those options.
Tannehill has been very good. I go with Tannehill.
Who do they play again?
It almost doesn't matter.
It almost doesn't matter. The Bengals.
All right, so for sure Tannehill. That's my call.
Yeah, I'm starting Tannehill.
All right, so
NIU says first touchdown, second half.
I'm fine with Robert Woods. I actually did sit down Robert Woods. It was a mistake. I ended up winning that one, but I played Mike Williams of the Chargers, who had, I think, 3 or less targets, like 1.4 fantasy points. I was chasing his 30-point game. Thought that Keenan Allen was coming back. He had a little bit of a back injury. Thought that it could be the Mike Williams show, and it was not. They actually threw it to another guy who I can't even remember his name. Big guy, thought was Mike Williams, went down, hurt his ankle. But there are a lot of no-namers getting receptions for the Chargers. I'm going to have to actually dive in and look and see if there's anybody besides Keenan Allen and Mike Williams that starts to get a little bit of traction. They might be interesting. Just glance at the Chargers, kind of their
Herbert can throw it.
Their wide receivers, because I know they have some undrafted rookies, and they've got some other guys that they did pick up in the NFL draft. And if any of those get going, they could have a little bit of value in fantasy.
Yeah, 206. This is a pro Herbert podcast.
And I'm talking dynasty for that one.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know about that. That's a pretty big bet for Robert Woods. First touchdown. It'd be a good payout, though. Okay, so I shot my shot for Jacobs, and the guy didn't want DK.
Interesting.
I get it after the big Lockett game.
That's the thing on the DK trade right now. So, again, it's good to trade for Jacobs
Did
right
you say
now
you
because he had a bad game.
Wait,
but
did you say you have Lockett, too,
DK also had a bad game.
Did they say they have Lockett as well?
Running backs are going to be hard to pry away from some people.
See if he'll take Lockett.
There are some teams where you're looking at them and their next best guy is, Zach Moss, or their next best guy is maybe a Ronald Jones, and it's going to be hard to pry away.
Oh, you have
some of
Tyreek
those
and
guys.
Devontae. Okay. I thought you said in chat before.
All right, so other running backs in that range that are kind of like that. Man, everybody's hurt. Chris Carson I liked a lot as a running back, but he just came up with a foot sprain. Out again, not 100% sure
Chris
he's going to be
Carson's
out next week.
always hurt.
He's not always hurt. He's been fine this year.
He's always hurt.
played in every game. But he's hurt. Yeah, he gets hurt sometimes.
Always hurt.
He's injury prone.
Yeah, can we get some injury prones in the chat?
Todd Gurley, ooh, give him your thoughts. Todd scores even when he's not trying to score. So,
Marcio, welcome.
Marcio.
You can't trade Todd Gurley away right now.
You pick him every year even though he's always hurt? I just love my hurt guy.
She just has to make sure. She just has to make sure he's hurt.
Gotcha. But
again, Todd Gurley is
has
almost
a decent schedule.
What would you offer for Todd Gurley? Not DK.
Probably not DK. Robert Woods.
And you know what? He's probably worth DK.
Juju Smith-Schuster, if you can find a Steelers fan, I would offer.
I do Juju, yeah.
I'm getting to that point where I'm going to start making these exact moves in one of my
I don't know
leagues to
who
try
is
and get
worse,
Gurley.
Jordan Reed or Chris Carson. Hunter Henry was on that path too, but he seems to be okay this season.
I like Chris Carson again. He gets banged up because he's got
Will
that
Fuller,
bruising running style.
I think Will Fuller's there,
but he
Panther.
comes back. He plays through stuff.
B-Rad with the injury.
He's not Alshon Jeffrey, where
yeah.
he just never ever comes back after an injury. He fights through stuff. He's a tough guy.
Reed's pretty close. Saquon's getting there. Honestly,
Ugh, Saquon.
I know.
Ruined me in the league.
Sad.
Actually, the league I had Saquon lost
I
the
have Hunter
first.
Henry too.
Lost the first two games that I had Saquon. Have won every other matchup so far without Saquon. So
perfect.
never again. I'm going to say,
true,
even
bro.
I don't even care if he comes back. He's healthy and he's great for a year. I'm never taking Saquon again. That's just me.
Bambo says, F this year, bro. If Eckler wasn't hurt, I'd be fine with Mixon and Eckler.
Eckler is a guy.
would be great.
Eckler is an interesting name that if you're trying to buy a guy right now, if Eckler could come back and have kind of a fraction of his value, he's an interesting guy to maybe look at trying to get buy low.
It is interesting, though, that Eckler could perform with this offense, and now they're struggling with any other running back in that offense.
Yeah, the two running backs they had have been like okay if you actually watch them. They just haven't gotten big fantasy production. They had Herbert running a touchdown that could have gone Kelly's way.
Right.
So I think you can. I think you hold those running backs.
Damn it! I got an ad during my question. Man, that's why you gotta get that sub. No, I'm just
There
kidding.
you go.
What was the question again? Ronald Jones or Deontay for flex moving
for those
forward?
of you that
I
don't
actually
know,
didn't answer this.
The sub will allow you to not have the ads. You get a couple more. Tell them what the sub entails.
It just adds, and you can use this one emote. It's not that big of
It's
a
a
deal.
great emote.
I mean, yeah, we'll take it, but
Is
it's
it
not that
the
big.
injured knee emote? Like,
Oh no! Don't mention Mixon. Nick will start crying. I'm not crying. I love Mixon.
you're crying.
He's fine. You're crying. I'm actually starting Deontay Johnson going forward. This week kind of confirmed it for me. I thought absolutely Claypool was going to take over, and it would be Juju and Claypool, and then Deontay, they target him.
Deontay had a ton
and
of targets.
maybe that was just part of the game plan, but Deontay's looked good, and yeah, I think you can roll with him.
My thing about Deontay is he's just been hurt a lot. They're little injuries. Some of them he misses time. Some of them he comes back.
The
None
range
them
of
been-
outcomes I see for Deontay Johnson, though, are in the 6 to 20 range. And for Ronald Jones with Leonard Fournette there, it's in the 4 to 12. I mean, I just don't think there's that high of a ceiling.
You're talking a wide receiver versus a running back, though, right?
I know,
Like,
yeah.
So you need running back.
No, he's talking for flex.
Oh, for flex? All
Yeah.
right. Again, I still think that running backs are important to have. I like Rojo going forward as just
Well, he's not giving him.
decent
I don't
running
think he's
back play.
trading him. I think Deontay Johnson
you just pick him between the two.
is your 1A and Ronald Jones 1B.
Yeah, if Leonard Fournette's there, he hurts Rojo a lot.
Yeah. Same, I got Eckler and IR. Yeah, there's a lot of people with Eckler. There's so many good running backs that went down this year.
There are some Eckler teams that need a win now, so if you can give them a couple pieces they can use while you hold on to Eckler, if you've got a couple wins under your belt, I like the getting Eckler now.
Right. Also, if you're in a good position in your league, this is a great time to go to the bottom of the barrel teams and look for the players on bye. You know, if you see a team that's 1 and 1-6 or 2-5. They have a running back on bye, and they have Frank Gore in there. You can probably try and trade for.
I like
for
the
any of
Bambo
ones on bye.
comment. He's talking criticizing Denver, too much flip flopping between Lindsey and Mixon, and then he just his next comment: freaking DUIs and concussions. Yeah,
I know.
That's what fantasy addicts do. Freaking DUIs and concussions.
Not again.
Oh,
Not again.
So let's see. Antonio Gibson. Talk about Antonio Gibson, one of the top running backs on the week.
How do you see Antonio Gibson going forward? So he had
I'd like to have him now, I think.
20 carries, 128 yards, 1 touchdown, no receptions, 1 target.
So here's the thing. Antonio Gibson has the potential to have more receptions. He was out-touched, I believe. The other guy on his team, was it Wayne Gallman? Was that? No, that's the
J.D. McKissick.
J.D. McKissick, I think, out-touched him by 1 touch in that game. So his volume is still not amazing. And also in that game, Peyton Barber had 10 rushes, which is like, Peyton Barber lives to just be on teams to ruin fantasy value by like 10 to 12 touches a game.
Bambo, I tried to pick up Des Bryant for the memes, and he wasn't even available on Sleeper. He's not even an option.
Oh, hi, Des.
Yeah, doesn't exist.
Don't pick up Des. Don't even do it for the memes. Just shoot the memes out without picking them up.
That's the question, NIU. I mean, I get it if you're a pro athlete, but where's your limo service or whatever? Oh, Mooney.
Yep.
I would have taken that catch and wouldn't care it if you lost.
I don't imagine you care very much if I lose any given week.
I'm about to play CFL fantasy.
So here is the score.
Go ahead.
Nope, I've already lost. Let's see.
I picked up. See, you're the kind of viewer I want, and I'm very happy about it.
Mooney had somewhere he had 1 reception for 3 yards that lost me the week. I was going to lose that one. Again, here's the lineup. I have Pat Mahomes against Carson Wentz. Pat Mahomes, great play, right? Him 14, Carson Wentz 31.
Did you see this stat? It says the Bears are the only team without a 40-plus yard passing play. Go figure.
Interesting.
Short? Of course.
So, honestly, what really killed me in that matchup was just Carson Wentz going off and Pat not putting up points.
So, Bambo, I understand your concern. Bambo says, nobody will take Hollywood from me. Have you seen Hollywood's playoff schedule? If Hollywood can have a good week, the good teams, especially if you're a contender as well, the playoff schedule is so juicy that I'm okay holding them. Even if he's playing poorly, if I can get to the playoffs or close to the playoffs.
I'm not a Hollywood guy. I just think that team, the way they're built, they are not using the wide receivers that are going to be star wide receivers.
Izubert says if Des gets signed to the Ravens, he's the best wideout, not even close. He's not as old as you think either. I don't.
Is he 31, 32?
Yeah. I don't hate the take. I don't see it happening after a year and a half.
You
or 2
were
years
saying
out of
that without seeing Des play football, and how long though? Who knows what Des has been up to? Des doesn't seem like a guy that's just kind of hitting the gym, living clean lifestyle.
Right.
So I'm going to say no. Anytime you believe in these old wide receivers, especially if they've been out for a while and nobody signed them, people have looked at Des. People have seen him play. They've seen what he can do, and nobody signed him. I'm going to say no. Des is not going to be good.
So starting week 13, Dallas, Cleveland, Jacksonville, Giants, Bengals. That's pretty.
Yeah. Will they need to throw against them? Will they even throw a pass those whole games?
I don't know. In the 40 points that they score a game,
the Ravens are not
going to throw some of them.
Not built to throw the ball. Like
if Lamar can somehow improve his downfield accuracy, Hollywood will be a top 12.
He was accurate last year. He's not going to throw volume. He doesn't get the volume. Like maybe he can get a long touchdown, but
we'll see.
I don't like Hollywood because of the way that team plays football. It doesn't support high scoring wide receiver options. They have some talented young guys on there too. Duvernay's on there. They had a guy that they drafted last year whose name escapes me, but he's become nothing. But they've actually taken some wide receivers with some draft capital in the NFL draft.
Bambo says, when is Chubb coming back, though? You think I should try to pull a trade on him? Because the guy with Chubb right now has 2 wins. This is exactly what we're looking for.
Yeah, because that guy needs to win now. So if you've got a good chance to be in the playoffs, you stack some wins already. I love that.
Gaskin for Chubb.
Yeah. Gaskin for Chubb.
Is that kind of what we're thinking?
Definitely. How about the Jacksonville guy, Robinson for Chubb?
I would do Robinson
even off of his
Chubb.
big week.
Yeah,
I think now's the time to do it because he just had that 26-point game.
Yeah. Bambo, what kind of running backs? So you have Mixon. You're going to have to trade a wide receiver for a running back, though, right? I think that would be. That would be a problem.
So do you give up like a high level? Like how about Robert Woods? You have Robert Woods for him? No problem.
Robert Woods for Chubb?
Yeah. I think I pull that. I would do that one.
I would probably do that as well.
Juju for Chubb, no problem. I do that all day. Let's see. Higher level than that, though. How about Robbie Anderson? Like, are you trying to shop Robbie? He's had 2 games, I think, recently against tough matchups where he had 10, 11 range of points.
He still gets so many targets, though.
He's getting good targets.
I'm probably
DJ Moore's coming on a little
Anderson.
bit. I don't hate trading Robbie Anderson for a good running back if you can do that.
I think running back.
Running backs are valuable this year. It's more so than any year that I've seen.
Values are definitely shifted this
Everybody's
season.
hurt, though. Chris Carson goes down this week. You just got everybody's hurt.
Let's talk real quick about Jerick McKinnon.
Jerick McKinnon.
What the hell?
Oh, Jerick McKinnon, just doing nothing. He had like negative points for a second.
He had negative points.
It was
He had
bad.
3 carries for -1 yards.
Did he end up with negative? Like it was just, and that was like the game script. You're thinking, all right, all their guys are hurt. It's just McKinnon and Jeff Wilson. They're going to split like that one game. They were both good.
I don't know. The
And
Bears
Jeff
on
Wilson
4th and
comes
1
in,
can't do anything because
just goes ham, gets 1,000,000 points, gets hurt. So now your Tevin Coleman share that you've been holding on to in Dynasty, how do you feel? Tell me about what level should people be excited about Tevin Coleman
Oh, if I can trade Tevin Coleman
after one good game?
Oh my God, I think I can trade Tevin Coleman. That's my thought. That's my initial
What
thought.
do you take for him in Dynasty?
Pocket's back. Welcome, Pocket. Wilson just went to IR an hour ago. Bear fan Paul was asking about Jeff Wilson, and yes. Banjo says Hasty time. There's been a little bit of hype around Hasty. I picked him up and redrafted.
Grabbed him in Dynasty, and I actually held him. I was one over my limit because I traded for a player. So
I just said, should I scoop up Coleman? He's available.
I think you should. I think you should scoop up Coleman. If he can be in there, he can be the guy.
I think you can still put him in your IR as well. So it's a good speculative
that's a good
ad if you have an IR spot.
But yeah, I would grab Coleman, and that actually last year worked out for me. I held Coleman in my IR spot. He came back. Everybody else got hurt. And
that's more of a tight end name. NAU says Jeff Wilson's not a running back name. Was never going to work out. Yeah, it's more of a tight end name. I agree.
He's just like Wilson in Home Improvement, just behind the fence where you can only see part of his face. So I don't even know what Jeff Wilson looks
standing
like.
behind all the linemen crouching.
Is that Jeff? Like, are you playing? Oh, what 40 points? Like 2 touchdowns all the time. It's like, why don't they play Jeff Wilson when other people are healthy? He's getting in the end zone all the time.
I didn't see that one, Bambo.
All right, let's go.
I got Hollywood, DK, Devontae, Tyreek, Claypool, and Landry, but also the guy with Chubb as Hooper and no other tight ends. I could offer him Ingram, and I have Waller, so I don't need Ingram. Interesting. I think you could do... I think you should trade Landry and Ingram and sell them on OBJ being out and Landry being
Ingram
really
still hasn't had a breakout game yet. He had a decent game. He dropped a big pass to him in that Thursday night game.
Right.
He's had a couple touchdowns that got called back for different things. So I think Ingram actually has – I'm still holding him. I've got him in a couple spots, and I keep playing him, hoping for that one game where things completely come together and go right for him.
Right.
I saw some rumors that he might be a good guy for the Giants to trade away. So he could end up in another spot if you're looking at him in Dynasty. He was a high draft pick. I think he was taken in the first round. So I like Ingram as a player. He's got good draft pedigree, good talent. He's a receiving tight end. The Giants, though, they've just been kind of, they're not putting things together. But, yeah.
Dubfire, Monday Night Football. Let's go, boys. What's up? Nothing.
Not much. Just watching the Bears.
Watching the Bears lose. The one night we take the
no,
Bears.
we got more time.
Crushed.
There's plenty more time.
No, the game's over, Mike. The Bears are going to lose.
Blow it up. Blow it up. We're tanking. We're tanking.
They're going to lose. It's happening.
Tank for,
it's over. No,
tank
it's
for
over.
Lawrence. No.
It's over. There's only 7
It's not
minutes
over
left
till
in the
it's
game.
over. The Bears.
No, that's it.
Here's another thing about the Bears this year. The Bears, if you can.
Marcio, this game stinks. Let's watch Borat. I couldn't agree more. Community Borat night. Duffer says, I got Rams D. Well,
A great success.
it's working out for you so far. I hope it doesn't by the end of the game.
So I was going to say, a credit to Nagy. The Bears this year, they've played till the end. They fought back. They've come back from behind. So if you gotta judge a coach on something, you can judge it on kind of the way that his players play. They don't.
So are you
give
saying
up,
if the Rams were, if the Bears were leading, you'd be more worried?
No, I think that this is actually pretty decent for the Bears. Grind it out, wear them down.
You're
let
only
the
down
defense
4.
beat them up.
All right, Bear from Boca. You tell the Bears it's okay to actually tackle the guys in blue. I think they're just figuring it out. just figuring it out.
Well, and something
See how it
worth
goes.
noting as we watch right now, Daryl Henderson, the back in that one, getting the carry. So I was thinking that they might actually rest him and give Akers more of a role in this game. Can you tell us about the running back split so far?
As far as
For the Rams.
Yeah. Let me pull it up here real quick. Why don't you talk about?
I got Rams D. Oh my.
Let's talk about Keenan Allen. How do you feel about Keenan Allen? Going for 10 for 125.
Another boatload of targets, getting those points. His back looked fine if you were worried about him after that little back injury before the bye. So he's past the bye. Yeah, man, the Chargers are putting it together. They're getting some steam. They got the win in a kind of a tough little battle there. Herbert's looking good. He is obviously a fan of Keenan Allen, throwing him the ball because of the target. So anytime you get a guy that's getting 10-plus targets in a game, hold on to that guy, use him for fantasy because not a lot of guys are getting targeted.
Keenan Allen is annually just
perennially undervalued.
Undervalued.
Constantly disrespected. So I did grab him a little bit late in the draft.
Bambo wants to know what you're sipping on, by the way.
Oh, it's just water. No, this is a monster with just a splash of vodka. But
Daryl Henderson, 5 carries. Malcolm Brown,
it's Monday night. The Bears
carries.
are playing. Get off my back. I'm not an addict. You're
my points didn't work out, but only for you. I kept Swag on the bench and started Young Ho. That's unfortunate. Young Ho was still okay, right?
So Swag. Let's see. I wonder if he's talking about Blankenship because Blankenship had the bye. So yeah, you had to.
It's got to be. I think.
So you did hold on to him. I got you. So the thing about Blankenship, I dropped him in a couple spots.
Ooh.
I did hold on to the Colts defense. But Blankenship has been very good, but they've just got a stretch of tougher matchups coming up for him. I was able to grab McManus. Didn't have a good week against the Kansas City Chiefs because Kansas City just murdered the Denver Broncos. But McManus has been great the 2 games before, and he's got like 3 or 4 soft matchups coming up. So McManus is a guy, if he's out there, I like him right now.
Uzi Vert dropping 45 more biddies. Thank you for those. This goes out to Hopkins, the GOAT, sad face.
Oh,
thanks,
Hopkins.
Bill. See, I think Bill O'Brien leaving almost makes up for Hopkins getting traded away.
No way, man. I'm not even like a Texans
And
fan.
you're still
and I'm
irate?
angry. What are you doing? That was the biggest storyline from the offseason, the worst trade in the history of NFL trades that I've ever seen, and what they got for him. Like, if you're going to trade away Hopkins, go get like a stud. Don't get
But he wasn't under contract.
wash David Johnson with a bad contract.
The damage is done.
Awful. What are you doing? Fire that man. He should have been fired the day that trade went through. What are you doing?
NBA rig.
Oh, the ego.
Welcome back. Cheers to the Bears.
You fool.
You are so dumb.
To you as well.
You are really dumb.
I would be irate if I was a Texans fan. I can't believe there wasn't more just in the internet, in the world, like
Or
more
first rounders or
rage
2
from the
second rounders.
Texans.
You would think you'd get a little bit more, but
And
hey, man,
you
we
don't
got
want to make
David
Texans
Johnson.
angry because they have guns. Like,
You're correcting me, but hey, we got David Johnson, so I should be thrilled. Are you thrilled with David Johnson?
No, I don't like David Johnson. He's old. He's washed. Actually, David Johnson, like if you've watched him, he actually has a little bit more juice than I thought he would. He looked really bad last year for the Cardinals. So, just I don't.
Again, I don't.
They must hate DeAndre Hopkins.
You
He
can't
must
have anything against David Johnson and everything against Bill O'Brien. Like, I don't think Texans fans.
No,
hate
you can't
David
be
Johnson.
mad at him. You could just be mad that they took the contract and it's like, oh, did they at least get like a couple first round picks? No, they gave away a draft pick. Like, what? It's
That was
the collusion.
that was sarcasm, by the way. Screw David.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I figured that was some sarcasm, but again, you could do worse. You could have Leonard Fournette as your
Again,
running
my
back.
blood's boiling. I'm not even a Texans fan. Unbelievable.
I know you said this
Horrible.
game's gonna make me switch from beer to bourbon.
The commissioner of the NFL should just be like, we can't let this trade go through. Like, obviously, one of you, this is your first year ever doing this.
There was a little
You're
bit of
terrible.
talk about that. Cordero Patterson
Yeah.
just doesn't want to get hit tonight.
Is there just an envelope full of money at his house sometime from the Arizona Cardinals?
Probably. Hop this week
Kingsbury seems the type.
with overtime, 10 for 103 and a touchdown, and a fumble lost. But I mean, you'll take that every time.
Yeah.
10 for 103 and a fumble.
103 is pretty
Fine.
good.
Yeah, and a
You
touchdown.
break 100 yards.
12 targets.
It's a good day.
Where would you rank Hopkins in the wide receiver tier, and where would you consider drafting him? If we were redrafting right now, where would you take him?
I'd take him in the first round,
Okay.
mid to late first round, especially if you know what you know now about all these running backs that are injured. So all those guys that went early if you did the redraft now, maybe now that some of them
If
are
you're
coming back, they
drafting-
still go high. Christian still go high, but he probably doesn't go 1.
Probably
You
not.
got to go Kamara, right?
Yeah, I think you still go, what is it? Kamara and Derrick Henry.
I think Derrick Henry
And
makes
that's
a
it,
case
right?
for being
Cook?
there's Aaron Jones, who has been injured.
Yeah,
He missed
that's
this
true.
week, but Aaron Jones has been very good for fantasy. But beyond that,
So you're sitting there with the 5th pick in the draft. You take in Aaron Jones or you taking DeAndre Hopkins? Or Derrick Henry? And
probably
or DeAndre
because of the
Hopkins?
running back situation, I'm still taking Aaron Jones. Any viable running
Yeah.
back who's been pretty good, who has a semblance of health right now, I think that you got to go. The top 5 to 6 picks are all running backs.
Yeah, you definitely gave up a Hall of Fame type player.
Yeah, because there's another then group of wide receivers that are kind of in that tier 1 who have produced very well. But I think Hopkins, he's probably, Devontae Adams got to be the first wide receiver off now that he's back and healthy.
That's the biggest thing. You really just took away a huge weapon for Watson. Has about 0.02 seconds to throw the ball. At least he could just lob it to the middle of
And
the
know
field.
that he was open.
And knew Hopkins would at least try and come down
Even
with
if
it.
you
or knock
traded
it to
him
the
for
ground.
a whole new set of linemen, maybe. But, what did you just get a running back who,
Which you can pretty much get anywhere.
Yeah, you get a signed Robinson from Rockford, and he's
Or you
putting
could have
up
got
better
Kenyon
points.
Drake.
Kenyon Drake, I don't think I want that either. But and again, Kenyon Drake was the replacement.
No way,
of the guy
man.
they traded
Hopkins
for.
fell the 18th pick to me, the best pick of all my drafts,
Woo!
6-1 in that league.
People were a little bit concerned
That's a
about the
steal.
Cardinals. He wouldn't have the volume. They got a lot of wide receivers there, some young talent. So I get it, but that's too far.
Oh, they made a mistake. Do you have that drop still?
I have so many drops.
Okay, let's go through a couple more boomers from this week. Let's see. We had A.J. Brown with 6 for 153 and a touchdown.
But our leagues, he wasn't falling that far.
No. Deontay Johnson, 9 for 80 and 2 touchdowns on 15. Here's the thing. You don't just go from 15 targets to 2, right? One week to the next.
Again, if you're injured and you're not even on the field, you go to 0. So, again, worth noting, just it is getting dinged up. Here's
thing-
another guy let's
yeah.
talk about real quick, because we had a comment where someone was saying they had Jarvis Landry. Odell Beckham Jr. going out with the ACL tear.
Yeah,
you see that?
I alluded to that earlier in the trade when I said they could kind of trade Ingram and Landry and sell the other owner on, hey, Landry's going to be the guy and try and get Chubb.
So Landry's also been playing through injury with a banged up rib, but he's out there. He's playing. They gave him a rush attempt. He threw a pass where you could see him throw the pass
Wow,
and
that's
actually
brutal.
grab his ribs. Like, you can tell he's hurting, but he's a stud. No, Jarvis Landry's got heart. Jarvis Landry's tough. He's got more heart than probably the next 10 guys on the Browns put together. So I like Jarvis as a guy, as a player, just like the ferocity, the fire.
Dub fire with the F in chat. Got to dump OBJ to the waivers for trash. Yep. That's all that's available now.
Well, at least you got a couple games out.
Banjo
of him.
said they got Hopkins 21st.
All of
overall.
a sudden, trading him away for Niemi Hines, looking real smart. Right?
Vert says you should have sold him after he threw for a touchdown.
Yeah.
Marcio, rip OBJ. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
It sucks.
so
You hate to see more fancy options go. So
what do you give up in Dynasty for OBJ? What do you trade away to get him now?
nothing because Doug won't
Nothing?
trade. But,
Yeah. Doug.
I would trade away. That's a tough question. Robbie Anderson.
No, I don't. I don't do that.
You'd
I
rather
like
have Robbie
Robbie. I
Anderson?
like his position. I like how he's looked. I think that he's got a good contract that's secure right now.
Here's the thing.
He's fairly young.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter. OBJ. I've never been an OBJ guy, so I'm probably not giving much. But if I've got,
Here's the thing. If you're not a contender, I would trade for OBJ for cheap. And next year he'll have name value, and you could still trade him for
I
more
don't
than
think
you
he's
bought
going to
him for.
have the name value going forward.
He
I think
will.
this is OBJ's. I think this is the
Mike,
end.
Antonio Brown's like 58 years old,
And you can't
he's
trade
still-
you can't get anything for Antonio Brown in Dynasty.
If he has a good, if
He has a good game.
If Antonio
that
Brown goes
changes
8
things.
for 100,
And it won't happen.
you
but
can sell him for.
I don't want any part of it. I personally
the
am staying
world.
away. Again, in Dynasty, anybody over 30,
I think that's a
they're-
good thing. I think
unless
that's a good
they are
point as well.
producing
Odell
elite
won't be in
numbers
Cleveland
at
much
the
longer.
time.
Yeah,
don't
I think.
get players over 30.
Does Odell play for the Browns next year?
What's his contract situation? You know off the top of your head?
Does it matter?
It does. If they have him already signed for another year, he's probably there. But if they don't,
I think he's under contract still, but I think he has a buyout.
I don't know, man. Maybe
Odell being
he could
Green
be
Bay?
just done. Green Bay, yeah.
Calling
Green
it-
Bay needs a wide receiver. I'm surprised they haven't traded for anybody.
Do they though? They got a 2-1. He just went for 60.
I think they could use another wide receiver. Maybe not. Though.
NBA rigged. How do you guys compare Scotty Miller and Antonio Brown, this older version? Honestly, just in my mind, I think it's probably both about the same. You have
Equal.
the
I don't want
slot.
either. Yep.
No, I'm saying
I don't want him.
Scotty just went for over 100 yards.
No thanks.
No. Hard pass.
I think that's a little short.
People have been
short-sighted.
starting Scotty all through the year, and they're like,
Nobody-
"Oh, this is it. This is going to be it," and then it's not.
Has
And
anybody
this is
in
gonna
this
be it's
chat
not. And now he
started
has a
Scotty
game.
Miller?
People pick him up. People play him, and he won't be good.
But again, I think we're seeing it now. Evans kind of
You never know when it's coming. That whole team, you never know if anybody's going to have a good game. If they're going to have a good game, or they could have nothing. So I don't want them because I don't know when they're going to have the good game.
I don't know. We
You
haven't
can't
seen,
start them because they goose you.
We haven't seen Antonio Brown.
Goosed.
Yeah, I mean, it says Scotty Miller's number 7 this week. Again, I think
Don't care.
I don't want to take that out of context.
Not
yet.
going to be number 7 next week.
I know there was some hype before. Again, there's no way you're playing. There's 0% chance you're playing Scotty Miller when he's also competing with Gronk, Godwin, Evans, Rojo, Leonard Fournette, Brait for targets. Now Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
There's no
Tyler
chance.
Johnson, the rookie's shown out a little bit.
Again, unless it's a big name, a la Antonio Brown, that's the only person I would pick up and start over those guys in certain situations.
Somebody calling for the Packers to get Cobb back. Cobb had a little bit of a game, but I don't want Cobb.
Fuller's solid. Fuller's, I think they said, we believe he's a wide receiver 1. And I don't know. I can see it. If he stayed healthy, he would have wide receiver 1 numbers. Banjo Lazard should be back soon, yeah. I don't know. They said 4 to 8 weeks, and that was 3 weeks ago, I think. So I think they said week 8 or week 9 would be his first opportunity back, but I would expect him for the longer timetable. I don't think they're rushing it. But the problem is Tanyan hasn't really done a whole lot.
No, Tanyan did not repeat his Gigantor game. He
probably because Devontae went for 200 yards.
Jay Sternberg, a guy who some people had talked about before the season, tight end for the Packers, got a touchdown. So Tanyan, yeah, I'm out. I'm dropping him. If you got him in Dynasty, hold on to him. But
I think you trade 3rd rounder for Will Fuller, and if they sell and they're in sell now mode, we can throw in a 7th and a next year's 2nd for Fuller and Watt. Screw Alshon. I've had him on the bench for so long, just waiting. Yeah, I think that's going to be.
Alshon doesn't want to play football.
Again, there's got to be better options on your waivers than Alshon right now. Bambo, I honestly, you can get him for cheaper than that. How much do you think a team would have to pay for Will Fuller? I'd say a 4th.
It depends
Straight
on your
up.
league. It depends on how much people value picks.
They're talking
just redraft.
No, they're talking real football. Real football. If you're a real NFL GM, what would you be looking to trade for Will Fuller? If you're the Bears or the Packers or a wide receiver needy team.
Well, I'd probably give him an old, washed-up running back that has a terrible contract and make him give me one of their draft picks. That's what I'd probably try to get from the Texans.
Yeah. So Jamal Williams. Just send him Jamal Williams.
There you go. No, Jamal Williams is the future of the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Jones is out. Maybe you send him Aaron Jones on his last year and you get Will Fuller and a lineman or something. Because if they had a lineman to give, but
Vert, come on.
that's a very Packers move.
When you trade player, it's just not the same. And Will Fuller there's no way you're trading Will Fuller for any more than a 4th round pick. I just don't. That's why I think you hold him.
Nobody's paying.
I don't think they're getting rid of
an
him.
injury-prone wide receiver.
No. Oh, Foles just sitting there waiting to get hit.
Held on to the ball.
Name a worse team out of a timeout.
Leonard
2-minute
Floyd,
warning,
former Bear, gets a sack on Foles. So
out of a half.
Wish he would have got some sacks when he was on the Bears. Right?
You're coming out of a half, timeout, anything. Anytime you've had time to set up a play, the Bears always get
you
sacked.
get stiff when
Every
you're just
time.
sitting there, writing up plays, dreaming
The
about
defense
what could
doesn't.
be.
Exactly, so we keep them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuller and Watt coming to Green Bay, calling it now before they trade deadline, which is November 3rd. I'd like to see some big moves.
That's actually
interesting.
a phenomenal
No way.
trade. Like a lot of times, though, things like that sound obvious to us. There's a lot that goes into it. You got all the contract stuff. You got to decide, how they're going to be paid, how many years, blah blah blah. It's just you don't see a ton of trades in the NFL. Last trade deadline in the NFL actually had, I think, more movement. I believe I heard a stat, more movement of players than any previous year in the history of the NFL. So
if
maybe
Watt
we get
gets traded, I quit.
How old is Watt, man? Watt is
not
good, but he's not what he was.
But he's the reason they got to get rid of Bill O'Brien. So you can't trade away the guy who got rid of Bill O'Brien.
You mean DeAndre Hopkins? They already traded him away.
No, that's not who got rid of Bill O'Brien. J.J. Watt got rid of Bill O'Brien.
I disagree.
So I have an interesting one for you.
Oh.
Rashard Higgins.
Rashard Higgins of the Browns. All right. So
Yes.
when we talk about Higgins, my mind always goes to T. Higgins of the Cincinnati Bengals.
That's
the rookie.
why I gave you the first name. As
I
well.
needed it. I know how you like to make up first names, though. So Rashad Higgins.
I said Rashard. It may be
Rashard.
Either one.
Swiss chard Higgins. All right. Him and Flugelhorn.
Jalen Rashard.
What year is it? So anyways.
Who are you?
No, I don't want him. Again, I think with OBJ going down, you could glance his way. He might be a guy that gets picked up off the waivers. Maybe in Dynasty, you take a chance. Honestly, I hate to give you the hint on it, but I'm more interested in Donovan Peoples-Jones, the wide receiver. He had a good game. He is a rookie who I had heard about before the draft, before he went to the Browns. He got buried on that depth chart behind some good wide receivers. But with OBJ being out, with Jarvis a little bit banged up, I actually like Donovan Peoples-Jones as a possible pickup in Dynasty.
I think in Dynasty, I would probably go that route. If I'm in redraft, I'm probably going to pick up Higgins. I think
even in Dynasty, Higgins you could take a shot on. If you just
think
got
so
some
too.
bench guys that have done nothing.
I think either of them could fully take over what you're expecting points-wise out of OBJ.
There
if
is
you want,
opportunity on the Browns
if you
right
want
now.
6 for 50 every week or 5 for 60 every week, they're going to get you pretty close to that.
Malcolm Brown with a little run. Malcolm Brown had that great first week. People spent all their FAAB, picked him up, and he has really disappeared. So I felt bad that first week. I dropped him in Dynasty. I was like, oh, no, I made a mistake. But
Not so much.
no, I think I've made the right call.
Bambo
actually.
says, JJ Watt is so frustrated. Just look at his post-game interview from Sunday. It's actually hilarious.
Yeah,
We'll
I
have
watched
to
a little bit of
you know,
one where he's just saying, like, long story short, just this sucks. Like, I'm angry. Like, I'm trying to keep it together, but I'm very unhappy.
Yeah.
And
He
there's a
doesn't
lot
wanna
of
lose.
teams right now that no, he is a competitor. So
Yeah.
I like Watt. Again, he's done a lot of good stuff for the community. I don't know how there was some Man of the Year award where he had just donated like $1 billion to hurricane relief and just had volunteered every day he wasn't playing football and somebody else won it.
I like
so
this
he got
take.
hosed.
I like this take from
I
Vert
see you
again,
want.
though.
We'll give you the award. The Fantasy Addicts award you with the Man of the Year award for that hurricane year.
Yeah, we'll bring him in for the award ceremony.
All right, we'll get him. Somebody get him on the phone. We'll get our publicist on.
Yeah, Vert, go call him up. Well, the defense is terrible right
If
now.
anybody knows Watt, let him know. Him and his brothers are invited
Come
to the
on,
show.
you got to pick that off. All right, but I think he's way too involved with the team in the city to get traded. That's the kicker. He would have to ask for a trade, like low key, and he wouldn't do it loud. He'd be
It
like,
happens,
"Hey, I want to
though.
play for a contender, and then I'll come sign a 1-day deal, and everybody will be happy."
Yeah, I like it.
It wouldn't be smart for the Texans to keep Watt anyway, because after the season he's going to walk away. So they might as well trade him and get something out of the pick at least, out of them to get a pick at least. But yeah, I understand the sentiment again, but again, once you have a mascot, you can't take him
It
away.
was interesting how highly he was ranked in some IDP rankings. Another indication that the IDP rankings you find on the internet for free are bad. But yeah, he's not what he used to be.
It would be a waste of $17 million.
A good leader on a team, though. He's a guy that, again, you could
He
see
won't
the
walk.
Texans quit. They got a new coach, and again, the guys like that hold the teams together and keep them competitive.
Yeah, no, I don't
But I
think
like
he'll just
Deshaun.
straight
I like Deshaun
walk
as a
out.
leader, as a quarterback. He's a guy that doesn't quit. He plays hard, so.
They have pieces. They're just kind of in.
They do.
They're kind of in.
You know what
purgatory
pieces they
right
need?
now.
An offensive line, and they could use it more than David Johnson.
Yeah. Do they have a real coach or an interim coach? Just interim, right? I don't know if they hired a bona fide.
Romeo Cornell
Is he the
former head coach of the Cleveland Browns. I don't know if he had any other head coaching gigs. You could tell us in the chat if you know. But Romeo Cornell came in, got that win right away. So you thought maybe Romeo does it. Romeo Cornell versus Lovie Smith, one of the best name matchups of coaches. Lovie and Romeo.
Make him a player coach, says Banjo.
There you go. You know, honestly,
Don't change his pay, though.
The one I would have most liked to see as a player coach is Peyton Manning. But again, I think it's a lot to manage all those
He's been coaching since
responsibilities.
1970, so I bet a lot.
Yeah,
All right, people.
Romeo seems like a good guy.
I got to make this bet.
All right, here it comes. Tell the people.
We need the wager. We got to come to a consensus on this. I just closed my stream chat. Come back to me.
Winning.
People. Come back to me. All right. Let me get logged in here. Loading in the action.
All right, you tell us what it's going to be. I'm waiting. I'm on the edge of my seat.
What's going to be? The bet?
The bet.
Oh, I don't know what it is. That's
Oh,
we got to
my
figure
gosh.
it out collectively.
Did we lose the chat here?
It's picking back up.
All right.
Nobody's
That's all right.
chatting.
Everybody take a moment. Stretch your legs. Bears. Let's go.
Let's see. I got a couple chats down here.
Go Bears!
Watson wants Clemson's head coach, and the team's pushing for it. Debo? I don't think that. Dabo? Is it Dabo? Dabo Sweeney?
Dabo Sweeney. Yeah.
Coach doesn't sound
I
too
think,
interested,
you
though.
know,
He's not leaving college.
I think that, college head coach where Dabo's
Second half over.
It's a pretty good gig.
Chat. $6. $6 what?
About $250.
About $250.
About
Okay.
$250.
So we're going to bet now. All right, what are we thinking for the second half?
Second half, Bears rally, get the win. Darnell Mooney fumbles a ball so Mike can win in his league. Nah, man, I just need Cooper Kupp. I got to check in on that one to see if Cooper Kupp, if he...
All right, so the spread is at 8.5 right now. Do you think the Bears are going to lose by more than 8.5 points?
No. I think the Bears are going to win.
If Wack is trade, you have to cheer 100 bits, okay? I like the bet. Okay, next team to score, Bears or Rams in overtime. I can get plus odds on the Bears right now because I think the Rams start with the ball. Total points, the over-under on total points is 33.5.
Field goals count and probably take the Rams.
Bears defense scores twice. I can't bet that the Bears defense scores twice.
I like it.
NBA, where do you guys have the Bears ranked in the NFC? Top 5 playoffs for sure. I think they'll make the playoffs.
Yeah, you got to give them top 5 on their record alone. If they beat the Packers, I feel a lot better about them, but it's going to be a tough game.
They have the ability to beat any team and lose to any team, which is...
Nah, they're going to beat some of the walkover teams now. I think that they've finally put themselves into the place where
if they played the Jets and lost to the Jets, I'd be like,
if they play the Cowboys, they're beating the Cowboys right now. Guarantee it. Lock it in. Put the money down.
Bears can't score twice if Kyle keeps leaving. Bears can't score twice.
So I'm still up just over 6 points. I need Cooper Kupp to have less than 6 points going forward.
All right, point spread is at 10 now. I like the Bears plus 10, right?
Leave Watt alone. Leave TJ alone.
Plus 10 for the Bears. They're down 7.
I said Bears D can't score twice if Kyle keeps leaving.
Pocket said Bears to cover in the over. I don't think I can combo the bets unless
Kyle Fuller has been very good this year, so he'll pick it up. He'll be all right. He's gonna get that. He's gonna get that turnover.
Let's see if they have. Yeah, it won't let me parlay it, unfortunately.
Bears to cover in the over. I don't know. I'm going the over. What's the point line?
10 points.
Just the whole game? No.
The point total is 34.
I'm not betting the over.
We already have the under in a lot of places, so I don't mind taking the over as much. Let's see. The Bears 9.5. The line is still moving. I'm gonna wait for it to go back up to 10. Hopefully, the Bears are still plus 450 to win the game. So
I like them. I think they're keeping it close. The Bears, they don't quit this year. Foles, he gets better as they go sometimes.
Okay, let's go.
We're starting to believe. We're ready to believe, and I'm ready to get hurt again.
All right, so are we going Bears plus 450? Or are we taking the Bears over? Or are we taking the over on points? We need the chat to come together here. No, I didn't take the 49ers money. I didn't really bet a whole lot before I talked to you guys.
Looking for that Houston ring. Not this year, but maybe next year. Get some linemen. Draft some linemen, man. New coach, I think that helps. It'll be interesting to see what they do going forward. I don't think Romeo Cornell is going to be the guy. So prospects out there, I don't know. There's a couple guys out there.
The Browns are 5. Yeah, I don't know how the Browns are 5-2. Maybe the over. That's all I would bet. You said the total it's 34. 34 right now, I think. Let's see if it's changed. Yeah, 34. I'd go with the over on the total. Okay.
All right, there you go.
Over 34 points. I'm changing this one.
60% of the time, it works every time.
Okay, it will let me parlay it. So Bears plus 10, over 34.
Parlay.
Approve odds change, place bet. Outcomes cannot be combined.
Oh, come on. People are sick of you watching you blow trying to make a bet.
Over 34, will you give it to me? Your bet has been placed. All righty.
All right, it's happening.
So we need it to be over 34. All right, you know what? People like the Bears. Wait, I already have odds on the Bears. Never mind. Bears to win. We want to do Bears to win.
All right. Hopefully you got your degenerate gambling fix of the week.
Well, we're not done yet.
Now when Nick loses his house, we'll be broadcasting from his from his car.
Alrighty.
So
Let's see if we cash in
let's
on
talk
that one.
about the other Higgins. T. Higgins comes away with a touchdown, has a good game. I had just traded away Crowder for Higgins. Crowder was out this week with an injury. I think it was his groin.
That doesn't make sense.
And so Higgins, I actually had him on my bench, but feeling good about his production in this past game. He's a guy that I think if he's out there, he's probably on a team by now. But if he's out there, grab T. Higgins. Cincinnati, it's their rookie wide receiver. Came down within our league, which is a full PPR, 18.8 points. Had a rush attempt, had 5 targets, 5 receptions for 71 yards and a touchdown.
So like 5 different. Okay, the bet is I have previous bets at the Bears under 43.5, and as a group we decided to go on the Bears or the whole game over 34. So the whole game under 43.5, but over 34. That's it.
It's not complex,
That's all I
right?
need.
So easy.
Under 43.5, over 34.
So here's a fun fact for you. Cam Akers, the rookie running back for the Los Angeles Rams, has 0 points at the half, and I am strongly considering dropping him.
In what dynasty? Redraft.
This is in this game. This game right now, I'm dropping him in redraft. Yes.
I think that's fair. Maybe AJ Green Bay thing will happen at the deadline. Now we're talking.
So that he can go be bad over there? Nah. Actually, no, fine.
I don't want AJ.
No, go ahead. Go ahead and let Green Bay. They can have AJ. They can have all of him.
Was he like 8 for 80 this week?
His
What's wrong with
contract
that?
situation is trash. They violently overpaid him to come back and try and be what he used to be, and he wasn't, even though Nick thought he would be.
What do you mean? He had 12 targets, 8 catches
so
for
dumb.
like almost
You are
90
really
yards.
dumb.
Nah, he's not good. Not good at football.
I want AJ Green and
He's
I want him to stay.
Scraping the edge of almost useful in fantasy.
He's
these past
no
weeks,
Uzama,
but-
says NIU.
No, he is no Uzama. CJ Uzama would have had so many touchdowns by now.
Oh, man.
Oh, he would have just made Gronk look like an afterthought.
Violently overpaid.
So Drew Sample did get, I think, 5 receptions this week. So Sample coming on. He's
like
starting
for
to build.
60 yards, too. Yeah, violently overpaid. I think they paid AJ Green, what, like $15 million?
It was an unbelievable sum for the just.
It was quite a bit. I'm thinking it's a 1-year deal. It's fine. Okay. Who are we talking about just before?
And also,
No, he's fine.
oh,
Everything's
they
fine.
made a mistake.
Sorry, bam, Bill's gone. Wait, what? No more terrible trades. Yeah, you're right. Bill's gone. No more bad trades. Everything can get brighter, and everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah, so let's talk about the Bills of the football team almost losing to the Jets. And for a second there, people were feeling concerned.
8 field goals.
That's a lot of field goals.
Only made 6 of them, but 8 field goal attempts. Holy crap! And that's how you win. You win 18-10.
That's
or
how you win
18 to
against the
12
Jets.
because of all your freaking field
Because
goals.
the Jets are who we thought they were, and the Jets are terrible. I called it the whole way the Jets were not going to win that game. The Jets aren't winning another game all year. You can put it on the board. Take that bet.
I don't like that bet.
Make that bet.
I don't like it.
I'll make that bet.
I don't want to do it. Okay, DJ Moore, 4 for 92 and 2 touchdowns. We alluded to it earlier. Only 5 targets again. That's rough. What would you take for DJ Moore?
For DJ Moore, I would actually give up a decent amount for DJ Moore. I think that DJ Moore is going to come on stronger as the year goes on.
DJ Moore or Robbie Anderson?
I think you got to go with Robbie Anderson based on what you've
DJ Moore or
seen.
Tyler Boyd?
I like Tyler Boyd. So I actually need to look into Tyler Boyd because I've always liked him. I always think he's good, but I'm never trying to
He's
give
like wide
up
receiver
anything
4 in the
for
year.
him.
No,
He's not that high, but Tyler Boyd has just been very usable. He's out there. He's playing. He's doing a good job, but he's
Bambo.
not a star.
Bambo says, what about starting a community Twitch chat fantasy next year? Oh, that's going to happen. We're going to get that going. DJ
We
Moore
got a
or
couple
Christian
things
Kirk,
in the works. We
that
got some great ideas.
Are you talking redraft here? Because I don't see
So
it as
Christian
being
Kirk has had some very good games. He has multiple touchdown games. That's what I'm going. Multiple. He is wide receiver 2 on an offense that wants to throw the ball. He's getting softer coverage because Hopkins is there. Christian Kirk is a nice player. When Larry Fitzgerald retires this next year, I'm very interested in Christian Kirk in a redraft league. It's close. It's
DeAndre
close on those two.
Hopkins.
I might actually like Christian Kirk after what I've seen. But DJ Moore, both guys had 2 touchdowns this week. I think that Christian Kirk, their offense is just going to have better opportunity. They have a better quarterback situation, but Bridgewater has been very good. Here's a fun fact I'm going to throw out there because
This better be fun.
So,
Yeah.
I've got Kyler Murray on my team. You have him as in our joint league. He is our quarterback, so I've got him in 2 places. This week, if you have Kyler Murray, pick up Teddy Bridgewater if he's out there, because the week that he is on bye, Teddy Bridgewater plays the Atlanta Falcons defense. It's either Atlanta or Dallas. I'm pretty sure it's the Falcons, though. And you got your quarterback. He's going to put up points. That's going to be a huge Bridgewater game. So I love that move in all leagues right now.
So here's the thing.
Fun fact.
I'm going to regurgitate how Dynasty Reddit feels about Kirk, and they think that the Cardinals don't like him and that he'll eventually get replaced. So I don't know.
It's gonna help him them like him if he can score 2 touchdowns every couple weeks.
I agree, but from what I hear, they're trying to.
I saw an interview with him. The
wrong.
footballers did, like when he was a rookie, and he looked articulate. He looked intelligent. Like he didn't seem like a knucklehead. He was well spoken. So I don't know if it's just some clashes of personality or if it's just his play. Do you have any insight into why they do not care for him?
I can look into it more, but it was when he was hurt. When people were trying to figure out who else was, would be a pass catcher on the offense, they said Kirk might not come back and have the same role.
I don't know if what I've seen supports it, but it's interesting. It's interesting. It's worth noting. Sometimes you hear those whispers.
Let's see. Someone in my league schemed to trade for CMC. I hope he doesn't do much. That's another interesting
I hope he comes back
target.
and is very good for my dynasty team.
Would you trade Jonathan Taylor for CMC right now?
No.
Okay.
No. Christian will come back. He'll be good. I did see a report today that they say Mike Davis is still going to play. That worries me a bit. Maybe if I could get a king's ransom for him in dynasty, I consider it. But
so you'd still rather have Christian. Correct. Okay.
Yeah.
Mike
Christian
needs a fun fact drop, says NIU. We can work on that.
I got the that's pretty neat.
That's pretty neat.
So we'll see what I can find.
This is an Aspen. You can tell it is because of the way it is.
No Danuche.
No Danuche. You're not starting Danuche from the Cowboys?
The F is Danuche, the quarterback. That's how I feel about Danuche. Who? What are you talking about?
Oh man. Teddy Bridgewater is available in my league this week. Might as well snag him.
Danuche.
Might as well snag him. Alrighty.
Yeah, so even if you just need particularly why I like the move of picking up Teddy is if you have Kyler, because Kyler's very good and he's going to be your guy that you got. You don't have any other quarterbacks you're probably rostering. So you're looking for somebody that may be available on the waivers to pick up. So do it a week ahead of time to just guarantee that you got Teddy is what I like.
Duffer says I had some joker in my league scheming to get Dalvin Cook for me. I made an offer for Dalvin Cook in our league as well.
It depends on what he offered. If he gave you a good offer, but Dalvin, here's the thing: already having a couple little bang up type of injuries. Dalvin is a guy who's gotten hurt in the past.
I actually tried to trade for a different running back and offered Madison in the trade. See if they were interested in that at all, but they were not.
Madison, I think, lost 99.9% of his value in his stinker game.
If Madison is the running back again, if Cook goes out and Madison is back in, I'm starting immediately.
Faking him out with a decoy.
No problem.
I think you
Mozambique.
might have got Mozambique. Everything should have gone his way. The situation probably won't get better. I could see firing him up again, though, especially if you're
Bambo
desperate.
says, what do I do with Cam? Keep him for 1 week or go with Joe? I'd go with Joe.
And I'm not even blinking. Like, even in a bad matchup, Cam has been bad.
All right,
these past
Pocket.
weeks. Cam put up less than 5 fantasy points this week in most formats.
Pocket says, Nick stated earlier that Herbert will be a top 8 quarterback the rest of the season. That's the kiss of death. Just has top 12 Andy Dalton. Okay, hear me out.
Oh, no, Andy.
Hear me out. My only defense is I made the Herbert call first. I did call Herbert before Dalton. I called Herbert like week 3 or 4, and Dalton was last week. So
Missed it by that
2 weeks ago.
much.
No, I think, again, I get the call for Dalton because Dalton is a quarterback with experience as a starter in the NFL. He had great offensive weapons.
Oh, come on.
As far as his specialty players, I got to watch this replay of if Hicks actually roughed Goff or if he just breathed on him too hard and they throw the flag.
He's just so big.
They throw too many flags for quarterback sacks.
Let's see. I'm gonna put the Discord invite in here. If anybody wants to come hang out in our Discord at any point, I know Pocket and Marcio have been hanging out in there. chatting it up
The OGs.
with us, I will post the invite here. All right, if anybody has any more start-sit questions, bring them out.
Yep. Tell us about your trades. Tell us about guys that let you down this week, guys
know-
that did well, or gals.
Do you know who I
guess.
want to talk about?
Who do you want to talk about, Nick? I'm here for you.
Okay. You tell me who this player is.
Okay.
You already know because you
Is
probably
he the
looked.
quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys?
No.
Okay.
Nobody knows who that is.
Danouche.
Okay. This person is... Actually, I want to look up this stat now. Too late.
So what do you think about DK for Antonio Gibson and Brandon Cooks?
Okay,
Brandon Cooks did not have a great week, but if the Texans can get rolling, he's a guy that has that big game capability.
This player has had at least 10 points in every week. They have had 2 weeks of 21 and 27, and in their last game had 12 targets for 112 yards.
I saw who it was, so I won't guess, but
Yeah.
we'll tell him in a little bit.
Tell me
But
who it
going
is.
back to this trade,
And would you want this
Are you
person?
buying Gibson? Are you in? Do you believe he's going to be good? His volume still wasn't great, but I think with the talent, he's the most talented running back on that team. Bryce Love, a guy that you traded away for the Ravens defense. You're looking smart for it now. We weren't sure at the time, but he is on the IR. I think he's eligible to return, or likely to return in the next couple of weeks. It's possible he had a good draft pedigree, he had a good college career, but has become nothing in the NFL due to injury. But maybe he comes back. Maybe he takes some touches. They got to phase out Peyton Barber, right? Peyton Barber's not getting more than 10 touches in any game again.
I don't think so.
But he's the guy that always does.
But they've done weirder things. I'll just continually think Ron Rivera wants to give his running
But
back.
I know you like
38
DK. I think
touches.
DK's the guy that any given week can blow up. I
There you go, Marcio.
probably want DK unless I'm desperate. And then of that trade, I want the Gibson just with the hope that he becomes
Bambo, do you
a
need
viable starting
do you need
running
depth?
back.
Here's the thing: if you need depth, then yeah, it's a good, it's an okay trade.
But I know Nick is a proponent of, and I have, as I've played, become a little bit more of a proponent of, when you do a trade, you'd rather have one great piece than three mediocre pieces or three okay pieces.
But here's the thing:
depth is good, but you need those stars to win championships.
okay, but in this situation, what's better? Wide receiver number 8 to number 12, or running back 10 to 15, and wide receiver 20 to 30.
Again, I would, if I was making this call, I would go and I'd look up all the matchups for everybody.
The best
and I'd really
piece-
compare. I'd agonize over doing it, but
I say
could
go
see
for it, Bambo. I say go for it.
It's not insane.
I think if you held DK for one more week and he got usage, then I think you could still trade him for a
Sell him
little
for
bit more.
more.
But I think Gibson will be good.
What if
I think
DK
Brandon
goes out
Cooks
and
will
has
be
a
fine.
40-point game next week?
Try and see if you can get another piece. I bet they give you a little bit more. Would you rather have Cooks or Woods? That was their other question.
I'd rather have Woods for the consistency, but I think Cooks has any given week a higher ceiling, but there's going to be disappearing weeks. So I'd rather have Woods.
I'd rather have Cooks, but not by much. It's close.
Bobby Trees.
It is the Beasley. Well done, Pocket.
Hey.
Are you interested in Cole Beasley?
Nah, I get it. I
Targets
get he has
7,
points.
6,
I
7,
get he has
4,
targets.
6, 7, 12.
What is it? John Brown. He's been injured. I think he's going to come back and maybe eat Nicole a little bit.
Cole Beasley is the best flex play
I think you could flex Cole. I think
The
you
most
could pick him up
reliable
and play him.
flex play you
He's
could put
probably not. What percent rostered was he?
41, now 51. No, I think he's just 41 total.
He's got
41%.
that Crowder kind of feel where it's like he's getting points and you
100%.
start to believe, but I don't
100%.
know. I get it if you want Cole Beasley.
Bambo, I need an RB bad. See, I don't know because I have DK, Devontae, and Tyree. Yeah, you're fine wide receivers. I'd probably make the trade, honestly.
So a guy I've been holding on to and was hoping he could pick up some steam was Cam Akers, and if he has less than 5 points
See ya,
in this
Marcy.
game, I'm cutting bait. Marcy, glad to have you. Go Bears.
They said if you don't start calling them Beastly, I'm leaving. I can't commit to that.
Again, the footballers call him, he got a bad case of the Beasles, comparing him to the measles. And I feel like that's way more apt than Beastly.
Mac with a strip sack. All right, at least Marcel laughed it off. We're fine here. We're fine.
It's okay. Still a fan. Please
Nelson-
don't unfollow.
don't pick up Nelson Aguilar. Correct?
Aguilar has actually been very good. He's been very consistent. He's catching balls.
By consistent, you mean not consistent.
No, I think he's been good as far as
9, 3, 5, 14, 16, 26.
What is his?
You like the ramp up?
His catches per target. So he's catching all of his targets. Is what I'm
one
saying.
one target, 3 targets, 4 targets, 2 targets, 9 targets.
So
and he
out of
caught
all of those, he had dropped 1 target before this past week, in which he dropped 4. So
Well,
that's interesting.
It's not dropped. He just didn't complete.
Or
the
didn't
catch.
complete it. So I don't know if it was an officially ruled a drop, but He's been catching balls when they throw it to him. I don't know, man. The Raiders haven't been real fantasy great.
Don't pick him up. Don't even think about it. Just move on.
Yeah.
Just move
stick
on.
with Cooks.
Pick up Cole Beasley.
Or stick with the Waller and Josh Jacobs.
Scary Terry is a top 7 wide receiver.
So we got him in our joint league. I've been worried just
I
about
wanna
Washington.
agree or
I've been worried
disagree.
about their
I would
quarterbacks.
disagree.
He's not a top 7 wide receiver, but he's a must start in the vast majority of teams. We're going to start playing him all the time.
11, 30, 12, 27, 5, 16, 24.
Worth noting that his last 2 games where he had 24 and 15 were against Dallas and the New York Giants. So
He's averaging just under 10
when they
targets a
played
game.
the Rams, he had 5.6. I can't recall if he got injured in that game, though, and missed a little bit. But Baltimore,
still,
he put up 26.
7 targets, even as the low mark.
Baltimore's
for
a
your wide
good
receiver is
defense.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, no, I think, Terry, you can play with confidence every week.
Yeah.
Not top 7.
Brandon Ayuk, 6 for 115.
Brandon Ayuk coming off a good game. Debo Samuel goes down. They play a similar type of role in that offense. I actually am considering trying to throw out some waiver wire pickups for Ayuk.
Yeah, Bambo, I think that's fine.
He was a rookie taken in the first round of the NFL draft. They like him a lot. They want to get him going. He had a hamstring injury at the start of the year, which is why he didn't break out right away. He was a guy I liked a lot going into the year in drafts with like your last pick up Ayuk, and then he got the hamstring injury. But Ayuk is good. He's talented. He's a good run after the catch kind of guy. I like him. If you want to take a chance on him, if you're looking for a wide receiver to put on your bench for a little bit, see if they become something, I like Ayuk a lot.
I think that's a good point as well, Banjo, that Terry's schedule going forward isn't the most difficult.
Yeah, Washington getting it together. Lee. I think Washington, for being a team that doesn't have outstanding talent when you look at it, they're competitive. They're still playing.
My opinion,
they're not tanking.
My opinion of the whole offense has changed a ton since week 1. You're not starting.
All right.
You're starting Kyle Allen now, which he's an actual quarterback for fantasy purposes. You have people getting a lot of targets. You're moving the ball. You're competitive. I mean, it's a lot of pieces that you didn't have last year. Or you couldn't say
Gibby,
last
Antonio
year.
Gibson. It could happen. He could be the guy this year, the breakout running back.
Good luck, brothers.
I think he's got as good a chance as any to have a really strong rest of the season. I think the team is definitely moving in the right direction.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about it in the Sunday stream, but we're pretty concerned about the Cowboys. I think you got to hold CeeDee Lamb. You keep playing Amari Cooper. You keep playing Zeke. Are you completely out? Are you dropping Schultz and Gallup?
I don't know about Gallup. I'm dropping Schultz. Not
All right.
interested.
I know nothing.
Sergeant
Honestly,
Schultz.
I'm probably not starting any pieces on that offense except for Zeke for a while.
I think he can still play. Amari had a pretty decent game. He gets targets. But yeah, it went from being an offense that could support 3 fantasy relevant wide receivers to one that can maybe support 1.
Okay, so I want to talk about Chris Godwin for a second.
Let's do it.
I don't want him at all.
No, I don't want any Tampa Bay.
So
maybe Rojo as a running back.
he went 9 for 9 for 88 yards and a touchdown this week. Are you
9's good.
Are you trading him? Are you trying to trade him? Are you starting him going forward if you have him?
He's got a good name. He missed a little bit of time. I think if you can trade him in a package deal to get somebody good, but
He's still being mocked highly. I think
it's going to be tough to get what you want for him.
if you don't like Chris Godwin, I think this week is the last chance you're going to have to trade him.
9 targets. Godwin's still good. Godwin's going to have good games. But again, it's just there's so many pieces there, so many mouths to feed.
Mike Evans is going to get healthier. Antonio Brown is going to come in and maybe not go crazy, but he'll take some targets. I don't like anybody there. Godwin or Crowder? God, that's a brutal question.
Oh, Godwin. Godwin by a good amount. Crowder missed this week. He's been injured.
Honestly, rest of the season,
No, I'm taking Godwin by a decent amount.
I bet Crowder.
You don't want the Jets. Get rid of your Jets. Jets are bad.
I'm on a strict no jet policy, but I'm on a strict no Godwin
Mims
policy
came back.
too.
Mims got some target. Rashad Perryman came back. He's getting some targets.
So I don't like
Crowder's not
Godwin
going to get
like
the volume he got in the first half of the year.
I don't like Godwin like I don't like Michael Thompson.
They got
I
no
just don't-
running game. They're
I
going
just
to
don't
get shut
trust him.
down. They're going to be running against light boxes. They're going to be covered up. Crowder's going to be worse the rest of the season.
Here's
than
one.
he's
I was a week late with Mike Evans, and I'm paying for it now. And I wish I didn't have to. If I could have traded Evans 2 weeks ago for full value, I should have done. But here we are. Should I get rid of Chowda? No, I think he's fine. Again, nobody's going to pay you.
I did. I traded Crowder away for T. Higgins. I don't know if you'll be able to do it now. T. Higgins had an 18-point game. Crowder missed with an injury. Yeah, I'm trying to get away. I'm trying to get rid of Crowder. If you can just have people in your league, if they aren't paying attention, if they don't know the name value as much, and what they do is they look at the stats. Crowder's got a lot of good stats as far as games where he's put up double-digit points. So if they're just looking at like 20, 15, 21, or he had a couple that were higher than that. I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but if they're just the people that don't know the player names, don't know the teams, and they're just looking at stats, that's the kind of person you want to trade him to, because his stats right now, just on paper, if you don't know anything about him, look good.
Gronk. Not even close. I think Higbee's droppable.
Higbee is droppable, but Higbee's also a guy you can pick up and spot start, and he could give you a couple points. He could have a touchdown.
In what spot?
If your tight end is on bye. If he's on the waivers, he's probably one of the top waiver options that could just get you a touchdown any given week.
I'm done with Higbee. I'll roll out Gronk. At least he gets targets. All right. Alvin Kamara, 8 targets, 8 receptions, 65 yards, and 83 rushing yards. Second week in a row with no touchdown, but still getting you points. So you're still happy with that. Kenny Galladay with the
Kenny
garbage
G.
time. The garbage time points.
Yeah.
Getting over the century mark, 6 for 114. Still not super targeted, only 7 targets on the game.
Garbage points count as much as regular time points.
That is true. Man, people are going to get tired of that drop after a while.
So, and it wasn't even, again, for the actual, it wasn't just garbage time, because they actually came back and beat the Atlanta Falcons. So it was important real time.
Can you still count it as garbage time, though?
I think if the game is still up for grabs, it's not fully considered garbage time.
NIU says they won with 0 seconds, not garbage time.
Yep, there you go. I'm going to agree.
So if they win the game, it's not garbage. I don't know if I count that.
I think if it's still the game is up for grabs, you're thinking of garbage time as okay, this team is down by 40 points. The other team is playing prevent defense. They're just letting them throw it for 15 yards a chunk.
But the thing is,
they're just letting them throw it up the middle of the field for to run the clock.
Detroit,
that's garbage.
Detroit loses to every other team besides the Falcons.
Yeah, the Falcons really.
I'm still counting it as garbage time.
The Falcons have two of the toughest losses in recent memory with that Dallas onside kick and that Todd Gurley falling into the end zone.
Speaking of Todd Gurley, 23 rushes for 63 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Helped your fantasy day that he fell into the end zone. Yeah,
they are 3-3. No, I don't. You're not going to convince me on this one. They're awful. They're terrible.
The Lions have just pulled out a couple goofy wins. Their Cardinal win was a shocker, but they squeezed out that one that they should have lost this past weekend. Right now, that we just had.
Didn't they lose the other one too?
I'm trying to recall their other one. I think they beat somebody bad.
The Saints. They were leading the Saints and then lost at the end.
That sounds right.
And then they beat Jacksonville. Chase Edmonds, 7 for 87 receiving. He looked really good catching the ball.
Yeah, I'm gonna get one for show.
Every reception was super
productive.
Talked about it. A lot of first downs.
I got a league where I'm going to pick him up. I got the number 1 waiver priority. He's out there, and I was waiting to see this game to figure out who I was going to drop, and it was between Jerick McKinnon and Cam Akers. You can let me know who you'd like to see me drop, but I think Cam Akers with 0 points right now is going to be sorry. Not your year, Akers. Maybe we come back and look at you again. Maybe you get some steam going. Maybe he's a guy that somebody picks up. But 2 weeks of 0 points when you're active.
All right, that's
a red flag.
I'm going to rapid fire through a few more of these, and then I want to get to full-on waivers. And I want to talk about Harrison Bryant for a second. Giovanni Bernard cashed in with a touchdown and 5 receptions for 59 yards. All these running backs, I'm reading their receiving yards first because they're more.
Gio, very startable. If Mixon's out, if Mixon's back, he's not usable.
Christian Kirk, now he's back and healthy. 5 for 37 and 2 touchdowns.
I think Christian Kirk's a good play.
Again, he didn't break off any long plays this time, but he has that ability. Calvin Ridley, 5 for 69, nice, and a touchdown.
Josh Reynolds with another big play in this game. So
Kareem
21-yard reception for Josh Reynolds. I'm telling you, Dynasty, he's a good guy. I think is going to be coming free on his rookie contract here pretty soon. So if he goes to a team, I think he could be relevant for Dynasty.
No, because here's why.
Tell me why.
You don't know when to start him.
If he goes to another situation, if he's a good enough wide receiver that if he goes to a team where he can be the number 2, he's going to be good.
He's a jag on an
I think he's
offense
better
that
than a
throws the
jag.
ball. That could have been a sack, an interception, and ends up neither.
So that's the Josh Reynolds reception.
Yeah.
No, I've actually watched him. He's been good. They trust him as the number 3 guy. He's it was him and Van Jefferson fighting for that 3 spot. If Woods or Kupp goes down with an injury, I think it's Josh Reynolds.
I would sell all your Reynolds shares to Mike.
All right, no, I'm not buying him. But again,
you're not buying him?
If he's on the waiver wires in your dynasty and nobody knows who he is, I think he's a guy that next year when they're talking about some sleepers, again, he's at the end of your bench stash in dynasty.
I'd still roster him for sure because there's not very many options out there. But
yeah, that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying like he's going to be a starter this year.
Or
maybe he turns into something next year. People are watching. They're addicted. They want the deep sleeper hot takes that nobody's talking about.
Nobody's talking about that one because it's not I think that's...
Again, I was so right about Uzama. No one else was talking
Uzama's
about
on waivers in everybody's league.
Well, that's because he got injured. It was happening. The breakout was happening.
It didn't.
You wait. Josh Reynolds is going to be
T.
a
Higgins, 5 for 71 and a touchdown. And Guyton, 2 for 84 and a touchdown at that long end, which paid off for him. All right, Harrison Bryant. Are you picking up Harrison Bryant at all? We're going to switch over to our...
So Nick informed me a couple times, and it finally stuck that Harrison Bryant is a tight end for the Browns. Eddie Jackson looks like he gets hurt hopping. I don't know if he was celebrating or protesting a call. Hops up in the air, goes down. Terrible, terrible to see that as a Bears fan. Oh, no.
Oh, I made a mistake.
How these athletes hurt themselves just hopping up and down.
Banjo, what is a normal bench size in Dynasty? I think we have 26 roster spots.
Yeah, that's including our starting lineups that include 3 wide receivers, 2 flex, 2 running backs.
No IR.
So, yeah, it's really anything you want it to be.
No IR, no
want
defense, no kicker.
10 plus, right? For sure.
In Dynasty?
Yeah.
I think any Dynasty that's less than 20 players.
I'm talking about the bench.
The bench?
Yeah, so you got to subtract.
I'd say 10 to 12 roster spots for the bench. All right, so on the waivers, Carlos Hyde. Do you cash in your number 1 waiver for Carlos Hyde?
I would spend a chunk of FAAB for Carlos Hyde with Chris Carson being...
I'm not going to ask your number. Over under $19 for...
I'm pretty desperate for a running back, and I'm probably going to... Yeah, depending on how much FAAB I have left, how much I've spent on other players.
Yeah.
If I'm going to put a decent amount on it, I think.
Do we get a call on how long Carson's going to be out?
Not officially. It sounds like it could be 0, but it'll probably be 1 or 2.
Okay. Rashad Higgins. It is Rashard. There's an R in there.
Rashard. Yes. Swiss Chard Higgins, wide receiver for Cleveland. I'm not going to pull the trigger on him.
The reason I'm interested still because 55% snap share, 60, 85. Obviously, with OBJ going out, it makes difference. But
yeah, targets weren't there yet, but OBJ going down changes everything.
So I've had him on rosters in seasons past, and he's been solid at times. I'm not completely out on him.
All right.
2 years ago, he ended the season 6 for 60, 4 for 86, and a touchdown on that time. Like I said, he's had good fantasy performances before, but again, I don't know if he's going to be the well of points for you the rest of the season.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah, Bambo, that's not good for us. I like Eddie Jackson. He wants to play football.
Oh, hopefully it's just a little tweak.
Chase Edmonds.
It's not good. Eddie Jackson has been good.
Chase Edmonds. How much are you spending for Chase Edmonds?
Chase Edmonds, of the guys that I'm looking at that you've mentioned so far, I'm spending the most for Chase Edmonds. Kenny Drake went down. They said that he had an X-ray that came back as negative. That means he doesn't have a bone break or fracture. However, I think they're doing an MRI, which looks at the soft tissue. So I think that they looked at that, said he has a minor ligament tear in his ankle, which most sprains are basically a tear. But if it's severe enough that they called it a tear, it's probably going to keep him out for a couple weeks. Chase
Are they going
Edmonds
to get this
looks
into the
good.
end zone after all
Keep
that?
pushing it. Keep pushing him. No. Unbelievable. And the flag. Wow.
Wow. That's crazy. The whole team's just pushing him. Yeah, I thought you couldn't do that anymore.
Uh-oh. Is Mac down with an injury now? Nah, he's all right.
Just fade them all. Just fade them all.
When I was watching it was hard to tell who was offense and defense. But, all right. So, yeah, they stopped Malcolm.
All right, I'm going to go switch to...
So, yeah, now we need a Bears turnover. Right here, pick 6. Kyle Fuller.
Rushing touchdown.
Michael Hasty is interesting. Also, if Tevin Coleman does
Malcolm
not come
Brown,
back,
1 yard rushing touchdown. Yep, pocket. Thank you for that
like
call.
that.
Let's go, Bears. Continue
Malcolm.
losing. No, stop
don't
it.
Do it.
You can't root against
Rally.
us openly here. Hey, I've
only
been
Marcy.
betting on the Packers.
Marcy's the only one. She puts up with all our Bears crap all the time, so Marcy can root for the Packers. But no one else.
No one else can flame
Bambo's a
them.
regular.
Unless you're a Bears fan. If you're
Yeah.
a Bears fan, then you can
You
flame
gotta
them.
at least subscribe, right?
There you go.
It's opened up with the
We'll accept
subscription.
it in that circumstance, Marcio. Nelson Aguilar. No.
Aguilar. Nah, I'm not gonna pick up Aguilar.
Jermichael Hasty.
Michael Hasty, I take a chance on. If you need a guy, you need to win a week. If you're looking for a running back, just to give you a couple games, I think that Jerick McKinnon they have shown very little faith in, and if a guy like Jeff Wilson can go ham,
Marcy and Bambo have formed a pack now.
there you go. Get in the Discord and
A
just tell each
pack,
other how
if you
much you
will.
love cheese. Just talk about the sweet, sweet smell of cheese after every game.
Now the Bears will score a touchdown, working towards the second half over and keeping it within 10. That would be ideal. So that's kind of where I'm at now. I know what the Bears are going to do, but what's it going to do for my pocket?
Marcy and Bam.
What's it going to do for my pocket?
faith disturbing.
All right, now we got to start putting some things together.
Jermichael Hasty, how much you spending FAAB wise?
Hasty, if I need a win, again, I'm chasing these San Francisco running backs. Every time a guy's gotten a chance, he's been good. You know, it's just who's going to be the guy. When Mostert's in there, he's been good. When Wilson's been in there, he's been good. When they've used McKinnon's been good.
Well, that's because they have to put like 5 people on.
Did we get a follow just so that someone could spread some Packer hate?
Andrew Gag 12.
Andrew Gag.
Welcome to Fantasy Football Addicts. We're hanging out, talking football. If you got any questions, let us know.
Yep, we'll try and counsel you so you don't choke.
My cheese head is actually coming in the mail. Buy me one, too. Thanks.
That sounded dirtier than I think it was meant to be.
Yeah.
That's what she said. So
Wayne Gallman, any interest?
Gallman had a good game. He got into the end zone. No Gallman. Not starting Gallman with any confidence.
DPJ, Donovan Peoples-Jones. Spending any FAAB?
Love the DPJ. I think that in Dynasty I might. If you got roster spots, I currently don't have a lot of spots, but Donovan Peoples-Jones as well as Tyler Johnson. Tyler Johnson's on the Buccaneers are guys that I think have shown some good talent as rookies. Who, if you have a taxi squad, throw them on your taxi squad. If you do not have a taxi squad,
is that
maybe
real, Bam?
if you got a late spot,
Bambo's saying the Packers just signed Seth Roberts.
All right, tell me more about Seth Roberts. There we go.
They signed Seth Roberts.
Yeah, that's
He's Seth
we'll
Roberts.
have to take a
Sounds
look
like a winner.
Yeah, Seth.
He's fine. Should I play Mark Andrews next week against the Steelers, or should I go for a different tight end? Can you give me one or two of your other options, whether on roster or best on waivers?
Yeah, Mark Andrews, I think that's a competitive, divisional game. And Mark Andrews, actually, I think they could use him more in a game like that because they're going to have to do a little more throwing. He has been a number one read.
I think
as far
Seth
as
Roberts
red
was
zone.
with the Raiders most recently, if I remember
What
correctly.
position does he play?
Wide receiver.
Okay. Nah, don't care. That sounds like exactly who the Green Bay Packers are. They're just trolling Rodgers some more to make him angry so he starts playing good again. Actually played very well in that.
He was on the Panthers.
Aaron Rodgers.
I don't even have the Packers picking him up yet. Where are you getting these deets from?
They're just making up names. That's not even a real person.
Let's see where he was beforehand. The Ravens, Raiders, Panthers.
Khalil Mack with 2 tackles, 1 sack, 1 hurry, 1 forced fumble. So like to see him getting after it a little bit more. He hasn't been Khalil Mack's been good. He's been very good, but I don't know if you'd put him in great.
Did you know Seth Roberts played with the Baltimore Ravens the entire season last year? I didn't.
Great pickup there for the Green Bay
played in every
Packers. That's the kind of pickup we like to see them have.
Seth Roberts from the real Alabama school, West Alabama.
Practice squad hero. West Alabama, born and raised.
Let's see what he can do. Just got him on the practice squad.
On the tractors. Where I spent most of my days.
I wouldn't get too excited about bringing Seth Roberts on. Played ending guard. Perfect.
All right, there you go.
Brandon Ayuk, if he's still on waivers, what are you giving up for Brandon Ayuk?
Yeah, Ayuk.
In redraft.
A lot of my teams are more set at wide receiver, but especially if it's like a keeper league, Ayuk's a guy who could also be better next year, coming off his rookie year. I think $10 to $15 a FAAB. Blow top 4 waiver priority, maybe not the 1.
Okay, so they have
Like four or under, not
Andrew
top four.
Gagg's got Jonnu Smith, Hayden Hurst, Noah Font to choose from besides Mark Andrews.
So Hayden Hurst had a decent game. He
yeah.
actually had, I think, 6 or 7 targets. So he's picking up a little bit of steam, starting to trust him a little bit more. Atlanta likes to throw the ball. They don't run very well, even though Gurley's been decent for fantasy. Fant, I think he re-aggravated an injury. I don't know if he's even going to play next week. Had a bad game. Albert O is a name I'll bring up. Okabenabu, or again, I'm not intentionally making fun of his last name, but it's just a mouthful to pronounce.
Can say that, Mike.
Yeah, not trying.
I tried to search.
No racist, but yeah, Albert O. He was a tight end that they drafted. He had, I believe, 7 receptions in that game. Looked good. So Albert O. might be a guy to glance at in Dynasty. But I'm not going with Fant.
As much as I hate to agree with Poggy here, I think you got to go Jonnu.
I think you got to go with Jonnu. Jonnu had a bad game, but Jonnu's a guy.
Are you starting Jonnu over Mark Andrews, though?
No, I'm going to actually go with Mark Andrews.
Okay. I go Mark Andrews.
You know who the Titans are playing?
They're playing the Bengals, yeah.
The Bengals are soft. Again, I think you could go. I think you could do a coin flip with Jonnu.
Ravens play the
and
Steelers.
Andrews. I actually like Andrews against the Steelers, so I think he's actually going to have a good game, even though they're a tough defense.
I go to Andrews by a slim margin over Smith, and then I think I'd go Font after that. Okwu Egbunam.
That's what I said. But again, no. Albert O.
You can't say it like you said it, Mike.
I tried.
You can't say it like that.
I think that again, I can't say it like just while being a white guy. Like, that makes sense. Like,
I don't know.
I apologize to Albert O. and his whole family and anyone who's offended by my.
We really
like
him.
We do
really
like. Yeah, I wasn't at all trying to be disparaging. But no, Albert O. is a guy in Dynasty. He's a tight end that sometimes if you got to stash a tight end in Dynasty to have him before the breakout because they take a while to develop. But Albert O. is an interesting guy to just hit that little watch button right after you hit the follow on our channel here. You just go and you click the little star next to Albert O.
What did Traquan finish the day with yesterday?
Traquan Smith,
4 for 54.
Yeah.
Not the worst.
Oh no,
picked off.
Well kind of tipped down. Didn't need that if you're the Bears.
Oh man,
The Bears are who we thought they were.
Offense not coming through.
Nice pass, Foles. You dope. Yeah, we needed those points.
Dolt,
didn't we? I think we needed those points.
Could have used them.
How much longer will Minshew be under center? Heard rumors.
Bears are barren. As soon as you believe, they come and they just bring you back down to earth.
So I don't know if the loss is necessarily on him yesterday. I think he put up a pretty good performance still. I think he still threw for over 300 yards and a few touchdowns. It's fine. They won't bench Minshew until he has a super bad stretch of games, and he's been fine.
Yeah, again, I think that the rumors of his benching were exaggerated. They did lose again. They've been losing, but I did start him in a league, and he put up, I think, like 27, 28 points in the format that I was going in. So that's a very usable day for a guy that I was starting in place of Lamar on his bye. Again, I had a league where I played Andy Dalton, and my opponent played Cam Newton. So it was like 3 quarterback points to 4 quarterback points. I ended up. My team, that whole team decided not to show up. I got murdered as the lowest scorer in the history of my fantasy days. But
both of these are true. Banjo says Bears should trade for Minshew. I wouldn't mind having Minshew. Marcio says no, Minshew is too cool to play for the Bears.
If Minshew came to the Bears, he would continue to be about what he is, just a not very good quarterback who can never win anything significant.
Again, if we can have a passer,
which is what the Bears.
If we can have somebody that can throw for 300 yards a game, I really don't care what the Bears' record is. Is this watchable football for you?
It's a Chipotle commercial. Where are we?
Andrew Gagg says, do you think I should try and get Michael Thomas? I think everybody in the chat can answer.
Have you been recording this, by the way?
What? I have been recording.
Awesome.
Yeah. Surprise.
Hey, if you're watching us on YouTube, thanks for checking us out. Happy to have you.
If you made it this far in the YouTube video, just well done.
Yep,
well done for you. Chicago Mustaches, name a more kind of duo. That is true. We would embrace it here.
We love the mustache.
We do.
Minshew would be the city would embrace him.
Andrew, I would trade for Michael Thomas and drop him right away, just out of spite. I'm not a big fan.
We love mediocre quarterbacks.
Yeah. So I would not try to trade for Michael Thomas. It depends on the price. If you can get him for cheap enough, then obviously it's always worth it. But I'm passing. So.
Godwin or Thomas rest of the season? Thomas. I'm saying Thomas.
Honestly, I don't think. I'll say Thomas just because he'll start more. He'll have more points in the games he plays in. But honestly, I don't want either of them.
So you're not trading DK for him, huh?
Hell no.
All right.
So that one day instead of the Bears being fans saying, wow, we're actually going to hold first of the, no, we were never thinking we were going to win the division. Did you? I know what the Bears are.
It's not impossible. They just, because the amount of wins they've got, the Lions aren't going to catch them. The Vikings aren't going to catch them. I think they can beat both of those teams. It's the Packers and the Bears battling it out, and I would love to see the Bears beat the Packers, but
the Bears are the best average team in the league, and they're the worst good team in the league.
there's a lot of teams that are at that Bears kind of level, and they've just managed to pull out some close wins, which is a big deal. So the difference between some of those teams and the teams that make the playoffs and the teams that don't are the ones that pull out those close games, and they've been able to do it so far.
Thomas or Lockett rest of the season? Lockett.
Yeah, Lockett's put up really good games. Their offense is moving. Russ Wilson looks unstoppable.
I know some people own Thomas, and
That's one that you
that's a
might
bad-
be able to trade away Michael Thomas for Lockett.
I'm going to change
That's
my
what I
tune a little
would
bit.
do.
If Michael Thomas and Lockett play 6 games apiece, I think Thomas will have more points, obviously, but I just don't want him on my roster. That's where I'm leading to. But I own him. Yeah. No, I think
Man, I could see holding him and just hoping he is part of what he was, but I could see trying to make, if you could get a guy like Lockett, if you could get like a Calvin Ridley,
running back.
I actually saw an article written by, I can't recall who wrote it, but my dad actually sent it to me, and it was just, is now the time to trade Michael Thomas for Robbie Anderson, which it's not insane. If someone sent me that offer,
Michael Thomas or Antonio Gibson?
depends on your team makeup, but I could see, no, Michael Thomas. I'm going to go Michael Thomas. Let's pump the brakes and not be insane. Michael Thomas was so good last year.
Robert Woods for 25 yards.
All right, Robbie.
25-yard rush.
I don't think I've been overtaken yet by Cooper Kupp. Let me check.
All right, so
I am up by let's see, 0.02 points. I need Cooper Kupp to have no more points.
yeah, no, I think it's bad. I think you still hold Michael Thomas, but I'm personally still trying to trade him. If you can get close to,
It's 137.9 to 137.88.
so then what do you need to avoid?
I need Cooper Kupp to have no more points rest of game, and there's a lot of game left. Is that a catch for Cooper?
That is a catch
and the
for
game,
Cooper.
and I lose.
Just got a ball,
Oh
Mike.
no!
Unlucky. Never lucky. In the past 4 games, he's allowed 0 receiving yards against Mike Evans, Ridley,
Wah,
Emmanuel,
wah,
Will
wah.
Fuller. Yeah, Jared Alexander is solid. He is solid. Mike Evans has been kind of busted. Ridley didn't have Julio to take the top off. Emmanuel didn't have Michael
So we're
Thomas.
rooting for a Cooper Kupp
And Will Fuller.
catch fumble
Will Fuller.
for the Bears.
Not taking away from him, I still think he's very good. Henderson after a rush, too.
Yeah, Henderson's
Alrighty.
been the guy this game. Cam Akers getting nothing. Malcolm Brown's been involved. He has a touchdown. So
Let's go over the quick
I think
stats
it's time
for
to
the
bail
game.
on Akers. Maybe I'll look back at him next year.
Yeah, no, I think so. I think in a keeper league, he's one of the guys week 10, 11, 12, when you're wrapping it up for the season, just throw him on the bench, and next year you could have yourself a starting running back. I think so. Not guaranteed, but there's a chance.
See, if he doesn't show any life the rest of this year, that's not good. But
I'd still pick him up for next
people
year.
start to see him if he,
He's a good stash.
4 or 5 weeks from now, he starts flashing a little bit.
Alrighty. So
Henderson's been good.
Cole Kmet is your leading. Cole Kmet is your leading receiver for the Bears with 2 for 45. Allen Robinson 2 for 22. Henderson just looked a little shaken up. Yeah, we're seeing getting a little
We're
help.
back
getting
on
up.
Akers. Pick up your Akers. No.
If Thomas does force his way out of town, I guarantee the Saints will send him to football hell with some crap bag team. Hey, send him to the Jets.
There you go. I can't think of a more football hell than the Jets right now.
I don't know. The Bears?
No. 100% you'd rather be on the Bears
Why?
than the Jets.
You have no quarterback and no draft picks.
They're competing. They're
And
winning games.
and no money really. That doesn't. You're not going to win a Super Bowl with this team.
Michael Thomas is there. You got a chance. You got a very good defense.
Are you in denial?
No, man. Again, they've lost 1 game. So if you make the playoffs, you got a chance. If you add a top-level elite
Mike,
wide receiver.
Despite this being a 5-1 team, it's not a 5-1 team. The Bears are a 3-3 team at best.
No, you are what your record is. Again,
couldn't
if you
disagree
make
more.
the playoffs, you got a chance. They went to the Super Bowl with Rex Grossman as a quarterback on the back of a defense. So it's not insane.
Everett with a touchdown. All right, we're getting closer to the over.
It's out of hand. Things.
All right, so we need one more. We need the Bears to score and go for 2 and get it. So
There's a lot of game left. There's plenty of time.
that's true.
I would predict at least one more Bears score before the game is over.
We mean one more. A
Like
Bears
a
score.
touchdown.
We haven't scored.
They scored 3 points.
That's. Do we count field goals in this? Plenty of garbage time.
Yeah.
We get a whole quarter of garbage time. I like how Big Bad Brad has just come in and dropped the injury-prone emotes every once in a while.
Oh, I don't know if he's been following us, but we do have he's injury prone.
Yeah, we do.
A common phrase for that.
Josh Reynolds on the night, 4 for 51 touchdown. Cooper Kupp,
Pretty
6
good.
for 43.
Uh-oh.
Robert Woods, 3 for 22.
I did bench Robert Woods in a league that I ended up winning. I picked a worse option over him, but I was concerned about him this game.
We need the chat to tell us what we got to get in there. What do we need? What do we need for the emote? How about a scamper emote? We could work on a scamper emote. I'll look into that.
We need like the Flintstones feet in the car.
I think Marcio is more on the right track with the trash can. What's up with the tackling? That was a piss poor tackle. I seen just some not great fundamentals out of the Bears.
It is a little bit disheartening when you're a defense. The Bears have played through a lot of stuff, but like when your offense can't do anything and you're just getting beat on by a team that, it's disheartening.
Hey, good
Takes
thing
a little wind out of your
Good thing we
sails.
took the over and not the Bears to cover, eh?
That was an awful tackle. I just saw it again and
who was
come
it?
Across.
Hopefully
I don't know if it
nobody
was
good.
I don't know if it was Fuller or Jackson, but I don't know if Jackson wanted his injury if he came back in or what happened with all of that.
Eddie Jackson on the game had 8 tackles or
Trash
9 tackles, 8 being solo. Let's run through. I'm gonna see if there's anybody else on the waivers here. Harrison Bryant, you picking him up?
I'm trying to think of who Harrison Bryant is. To tell
Here
you the
we
truth.
go again.
Tight end for
Tight end for the
Cleveland.
Browns.
He's got one of those names that just doesn't stick in my mind.
Are you gonna be able to move your road?
Who?
Move your road, Mike?
Who is this man? Harrison Bryant.
LaMichael P. Ryan, yes or no?
So LaMichael got a touchdown. If
This
you
is
want to
rapid
throw
fire.
him on a
Yes or no?
dynasty, yes. Redraft, no.
Marquez Callaway,
No.
Cole Beasley,
If I need a wide receiver, yes.
Rob Gronkowski.
Yes.
How much fab?
Depending on your tight end, if I need a tight end, if let's say I've got Gesicki and Hurst, like $2.
Interesting. Corey Davis,
No.
Richard Rodgers,
Remind me who Richard Rodgers is again.
tight end for Philly.
Yeah, if Goddard's out there, I actually probably
For
grab
sure,
Goddard instead. But if Goddard's not going to be back, I think you can take the chance on Richard Rodgers.
Sterling Shepard,
Sterling Shepard, I'll put, if I need a wide receiver, $2.
Justin Herbert,
Jarvis Landry already owned, but if Jarvis is out there, if somebody got frustrated with him and dropped him, hearing about his ribs, I actually grabbed Jarvis Landry to see what he does without OBJ. I'm sorry, next one you said?
I think Landry is still a higher tier.
see what
He's
his-
still 73%.
73, all right.
But yeah, no, I'd pick him up.
Jarvis is a guy you might be able to trade for, too. He just hasn't been great yet. He's been banged up. You could maybe spin the yarn that, he's hurt. He hasn't been good. I just need a depth piece. I like his heart. I watched him on Hard Knocks when he gave the "It's contagious" speech.
Yeah, no, following your, I'd pick up Hyde, Higgins, Edmonds. Wouldn't pick up Aguilar. Pick up Hasty. Obviously wouldn't pick up Wilson. He's hurt now. Wayne Gallman wouldn't pick up. Peoples-Jones wouldn't pick up. Harrison Bryant.
So Jeff Wilson, what did they say? Did they give him a high ankle sprain?
They gave him a high ankle sprain to be out for a couple
weeks. All right.
He's on IR.
Okay.
We talked about, we put him on IR. Brandon Ayuk wouldn't pick him up yet. I guess you could pick him up.
I would
and
pick up
watch him,
Ayuk.
but I wouldn't spend anything.
I'd put him on the bench if you got a spot.
I wouldn't put any fab on him. Who remembers when Trubisky somehow got into the Pro Bowl? I know. Never lucky. With
Different times.
Gerald Everett.
Who remembers when
not
Nick
picking him
Foles won a Super Bowl?
up. Pepperidge Farm remembers. I think that's the
Online
name.
injuries. Yikes.
Yikes. Okay, and
Injury
then
prone.
let me know if you're dropping or holding. OBJ dropping.
Yep.
Darren Fells.
Give me a second. I'm searching my mind for who
We're dropping
Fells
Darren
is.
Fells. AJ Dillon. We're dropping AJ Dillon. Dropping Dalton. Dropping Schultz. Dropping Cam. Dropping Ferkser. I'm not dropping McKinnon.
Ferkser, I barely even know her. Yeah, no, I'm dropping Ferkser.
Everybody's off the J.D. McKissick bandwagon after
So,
one week.
a guy I am holding McKinnon just to see if he gets some play.
Oh.
I don't know that you can start him. Again, you have zero confidence after this week, but if no one else is there, he's looked good when he's played. If he can get a little bit of volume.
Peyton Hillis had his day. He had his day.
So he's the guy I'm holding. Cam Akers, I was holding, hoping he would show some life. Akers for L.A.
No, it was Reed.
But after this game, I think I'm dropping him.
Okay. If you have J.D. McKissick and Antonio Gibson, can you start both?
No.
I'm okay with it.
You're going to lose, don't you think?
I don't know. There's a worse running back situation.
Other guys that I'm holding, Zach Moss for Buffalo. He got a little bit of volume, had 10 points. I'm holding on to him. Both guys for the Chargers, Kelly
Why would
and
David
Justin
Montgomery
Jackson,
not just start running immediately?
Probably want to hold on to them.
I don't understand. Michael Gallup.
Michael Gallup, I'm dropping.
Mike Williams.
Mike Williams, I'm holding.
Keelan Cole.
Keelan Cole in Dynasty I have and I'm holding, but in redraft I could see dropping him. I think Shark got a little banged up. He's been kind of in and off of injury. If he's out, I like Keelan Cole a lot more.
Snoop Dogg. Marcio said, "Can I drop Allen Robinson?"
Wah, wah,
Stop it.
wah.
Stop it. No, but would you trade for Allen
This
Robinson
is my nightmare.
after a couple rough
Yeah,
games?
Allen Robinson, he gets good volume. He's the number one read on that team.
Anthony Miller just cannot catch a ball.
The Rams have been tough. They're getting after him.
Devontae Freeman.
How did Freeman do this week? Did he do anything? He had
3 carries for 8
fantasy
yards, and he got hurt.
points. Nah, if he's hurt, I'm IRing him. If he's on IR, if he's not, I can drop him and
I
pick up
don't
somebody.
think he's on IR. Tweaked his ankle.
Okay.
Adam Humphries.
Humphreys. No, I don't want Humphreys. He's
Okay,
on.
that was a catch. I'll give it to him. Yeah. The ground forced the fumble, if we can count that from his elbow down. That was actually a great snag, and I take back what I said that time, but I still
Get Allen Robinson.
I still think
Trade 4.
no. I think Anthony Miller caught that, and I still think he's not a very.
They
good
were
football
showing
player.
it. Robinson.
I know.
No,
This is
Anthony Miller. I'd drop Anthony Miller. He's not that good.
No, he's we wanted him to be good.
No, Foles can't support
Burrow.
2 usable.
Derek Carr or
wide receivers.
Burrow. I think each are startable in each situation.
So Derek Carr had a tough matchup this week. I think he also has a tough matchup next week or the next. But
I think both of them are actually
I'd rather Burrow.
just play the better of the
Play
two
the
matchups.
matchups. Yeah, stream the matchup.
I agree. I think both of them are startable.
If you got to have one though, I think I like Burrow.
Tanyan,
Full drop.
Traquan.
Traquan. I don't know. You can monitor what's going on with that team and who's going
Drop
to play.
Traquan. Do yourself a favor. MVS.
MVS. What do you have? 0 points.
I think so.
Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
4 targets, no points, no receptions. Tim Patrick.
Tim Patrick. He's also going through a couple things.
Day-to-day with the hamstring injury.
I could see holding Tim Patrick. Tim Patrick's actually been pretty decent for fantasy this year. Jerry Jeudy people may have dropped. I dropped Jeudy in multiple leagues, and he ended up having another not very good game. So their rest of the season schedule is tough. Jeudy hasn't kind of materialized to be as useful for fantasy as I hoped. He's still a good player. He makes good catches.
Yeah.
But, I think with the schedule coming up for the Broncos, I'm dropping all the Broncos.
I didn't catch the call. Did they say it was incomplete? Or a call? Gotcha. Terrible call by Nagy to go for on 4th and 1 in the stack box and not get it. I'm guessing they didn't get it after you saying that. Okay. And the last 2, Edelman and Higbee. You still holding them or dropping?
I could see holding Higbee if you need him to get you through a bye with your other tight end. Edelman, I'm probably out on Edelman. New England Patriots have looked very bad. I think they're starting to pack it in and just try and get the highest pick they can get, although they probably have been penalized and lost all those picks for multiple different things.
Yeah. Alrighty. I think that about covers it for this week.
Oh, man. Patterson got tackled like 3 yards back.
That's brutal.
I made a mistake.
Not the Bears' night.
Okay, if both Aaron Jones and Sanders play, who do I start, Jamal or Boston?
If they both do play or don't play. If they both do play, I think you start Jamal. If they both don't play, I think you still probably start Jamal. I'd have to look at the Packers matchup.
I'm with Mike on this one.
Again, if the Packers play somebody tough, of the two of them, they're kind of. I think Jamal's the better player on the.
Yeah, Dalton Schultz drop.
But if one has a softer matchup, I probably pick the matchup and play the matchup.
Yeah, and who's he going to give it up to? Like the other team? Like I don't. They don't really have an offensive coordinator. He is the offensive coordinator, so I don't know. Are they going to bring in a play caller?
Yeah, I think you can get rid of Dalton Schultz. Again, just that whole offense is
to Minnesota
is turned to garbage.
Oh man.
Yeah, now you should have given up play calling a year and a half ago. Again, they bill him as this offensive guru genius, but I think that it hasn't come to fruition.
Yeah, no, I can't remember last time we scored. Chuck Pagano would be better, honestly. But
I could see that move. I could actually, honestly, like I'm an advocate of letting coaches be there for a while and develop and get better. The coaches of the best teams,
but he wasn't called to play.
It's a chicken or an egg thing. It's like, are the coaches that have been there a long time good because they've been able to be there for a long time, develop a program, get things in place, learn from their mistakes? Or are the coaches that have been there a long time, they've been there because they were good and they had the opportunity to continue to keep playing because they've been good? It's tough to call.
Any ball guy that works at Pfizer is not a genius.
That makes sense. But also I'd say, like, you think about any work experience you've had, any job you've had, you get better as you go. You learn from your mistakes.
Are you holding Kenyon Drake or dropping?
But again, if they made the move to fire Nagy, Pagano is a great all right, we're promoting you to the head coach.
You still need an offensive coordinator, though, to call plays.
We'll figure it out.
Pagano's not going to call the offensive plays.
Maybe.
Okay, I hate it. No.
It's grinder.
Kenyon Drake, holding or dropping?
Kenyon Drake, throw on your IR if he's out, which he probably will be. So don't just drop him waiting while he's questionable.
What if you have no IR?
Full out. If you have no IR, yeah, you can drop him.
Yep. I think if you have no IR, that's fine.
Someone will pick him up, though.
I don't hate holding him. The thing is, Edmonds actually looked competent.
I don't think you must hold.
Yeah. All righty. I think we're going to wrap it up there. Any final questions as we check out for the evening? You got anything else you'd like to share?
Oh, let's see. So
that
for
follow
your
if you
fantasy
haven't
implications, I hope that this last little bit of trash here gets you all the points you need or doesn't get the other guy the points that they need.
Oh, I love trash.
And again, thank you for the follows. The dogs are getting excited. They love the show. Thanks for watching, guys.
All righty.
Job's
Have
done.
a good one.
Job's done. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Bobby.
Hit
We'll
that
see you
follow
next
if you
time.
haven't.